Hey, I'm Avert, and welcome to another Yappathon, a series where I just start yapping on. I actually tried to record this a few weeks ago, but I wasn't really in a good state of mind then, and I haven't listened to the audio since then, and I don't really want to. I don't think it'll be good, so I'm just going to re-record it, even though I'm still not in a good state of mind right now. I'm not really in a good place, but I'm going to vent about it. So you can consider yourselves my therapist. Okay, I actually don't do that. Do not consider yourselves my therapist. You're just people listening to some guy online yap. Alright? I actually have some serious yapping today. I want to talk about some serious topics, which includes the state of the channel, the state of my life, the state of the world, just the absolute state of everything right now. And, yeah. So without further ado, I'm going to throw on some background footage, some music, and sit back, relax, and welcome to the Yap. Feel free to throw this on in the background if you'd like. You know, I think the state of the world right now is kind of represented by my water bottle. That's going to make no sense to new viewers, but for the last 2 Yappathons I've done, I've had this like plastic water bottle with this lid that like snaps on, and you would hear like a snap sound every time I drink from it, but that snapping mechanism actually just ended up breaking. The entire lid broke, so there's just a circle hole at the top. So I have a new water bottle and it has a different mechanism which doesn't make as much noise. Like it makes some noise. It's like you push a little button on the back and it opens up the little like tab or whatever you drink out of. So yeah. Anyway, the state of the channel. Last year, without a shadow of a doubt, was definitely the best year on the channel so far. It's not even close. There's not even like any competition. Like out of 2023, 2024, and 2025, 2025 was the single best year on the channel. And like I put the most videos out that year. Every single video was at least an hour long, which I wasn't expecting. Some of my favorite videos I've ever made are all from last year. I started live streaming, which I really enjoyed, but I don't have as much time to do now. I made YouTube shorts clips of my videos, and I started doing that. And yeah, the channel grew a lot last year. Like yeah, last year was really good for the channel, and I think the reason why I put so much effort into last year is to make up for my pitiful 2024 video uploads, because 2024 I put out like 2 videos, a song, and then that's it. I pieced out for the rest of the year, and I think this year's content output, well, I know, is going to be more akin to 2024's output than 2025. Like 2025 I put out like 7 videos. I'm gonna check for sure. I'm checking my phone. I put out, okay, let's count them. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 videos. 2 are just like Hollow Knight Silksong clips, so it's 7. 7 main videos, but 9 if you count the clips, which I don't. All of them are over an hour long, and yeah, just like I'm really proud of some of these videos, and I think I did really good last year. Channel grew a lot, and yeah. But this year, channel won't be as active because of personal life and everything, and I'm not going to have as much time to make these videos, even though I still really enjoy doing it. But yeah, so last year I put out my two videos that are almost 2.5 hour long videos, fully edited. My Mario Kart World course ranking, where I rank every course in that game, which ironically enough, I made that video because I wanted to get something quick out, and I was like, oh, ranking videos, that'll be quick to do, and that'll get views because it's a ranking video. So I started making it, and then it spiraled out of control, and before I knew it, it was almost 2.5 hours long, fully edited. But yeah, I'm really proud of that video. And then I made the Donkey Kong Bonanza review, which is currently my favorite video I put out on the channel. I don't see myself topping it anytime soon. It's almost 2.5 hour, fully edited, feature-length film of a review, and I've scoured YouTube, and I've yet to find a Donkey Kong Bonanza review that is as long as mine fully edited. I think I have the longest fully edited Donkey Kong Bonanza review on YouTube. Like, is there a way to search by video length? Over 20 minutes. Okay, let's search. There's like 20 minutes, okay, 40 minutes, like an hour long review, less than an hour long, over an hour long. I'm seeing like the longest I'm seeing here is like a little over the 1 hour mark. I see a 1 hour and like 30 minute, an almost 2 hours discussion, but that's like a discussion, you know? Like even like the first impressions unedited video from Kid and Krista, that's almost 2 hours. Like, yeah, I think I have the longest review of Donkey Kong Bonanza on YouTube. Like even without editing, I've yet to see like a 2.5 hour long review on the game. So there's that. Not to brag, but I'm gonna brag. And you know, I was gonna work on a Game Awards 2025 video last year at the end of like December. The plan was to get the Game Awards 2025 video and a video on Donkey Kong Bonanza both out at the end of last year, and that didn't end up happening. I barely even got the Bonanza video out. Dude, the fact that the Bonanza video got out by the end of last year is actually a miracle. Like, there's a whole story behind that. Okay, I'll go into this story. Hold on. Water. I just bumped my mic. I wanted to get the sound of the water bottle on the microphone. I ended up bumping my mic. Sorry about that. But yeah, the Donkey Kong Bonanza video, I promised I would get that out by the end of last year. So I ended up working on it. I thought it would be out by the end of November. Nope. And December, I was working like for hours a day trying to get that out. And finally, I got it all finished and completed, and I went to go render it. And see, my computer lately, like Windows 11 is such a dog shit operating system. It is absolutely abysmal, and it keeps on getting new bugs and whatever that keeps screwing up people's computers. And for me, Windows 11 has been blue screening a lot lately. Like, I've just continuously been getting just non-stop blue screens over and over, just blue screen, blue screen. And when I was trying to export the Bonanza video, it would just keep blue screening in the middle of exporting, and it's so annoying. It's so annoying. Like, that's what happens. Like, that's what happens when you program like 70% of your code using AI. That's what happens. You get Windows 11, and it's just just terrible. And just frick, man. So I couldn't even export it. I just kept trying to export it. It didn't work. So I'm just thinking, okay, how can I export this thing without using the computer? And I realized my editing software, the way it works is you just have all of the files, and you need to have it all like compiled in the same spot. And then you can just download the editing software and then just throw all the files there and it would work. And I'm like, wait, everything is on my hard drive. Maybe I could give my hard drive to one of my friends and then have them export it at their house. That would take like only a few hours, and then they could just send it back to me. So I asked my friend about it, but then we run into a problem. I think, oh, wait a minute. My editing software, it recognizes based off of like the drive letter. If you don't know, the drive letter is, if you go to your file explorer and you go to your drives, it'll say like local disk, and then there'll be brackets and it'll say like E or whatever, you know? So my hard drive, it's called local disk E, and the E letter is really important because you can't have two of the same letter. It needs to all be different letters. So if you were to say already have a drive that has the E letter to it, you literally can't you can't get another drive with E as the letter. And if you were to change the drive letter on the hard drive itself, then the editing software wouldn't recognize all of the videos and stuff that I use in my video, right? So my editing software is called Shotcut. It's an open source editing software, and the way it works is that all of the files need to be at a certain spot in the computer, and then it recognizes the location of everything. And if that location even changes slightly, then you have to like reselect where the location is for each video. So if I were to change my hard drive from local disk E to like local disk F or whatever to avoid having two of the same drive letter, I would have to manually relocate every last video, image, like file that I use in the video for editing. And there's like over 100, like pretty much, like I'm pretty sure over 200, like if you count all of the background footage, all the images I use in the video, all the audio I record, everything, and the music, it's more than 100, it's like more than 200 different things, and you'd have to manually re-click on all of those. And like think of like this was happening around like the 29th of December. Like I did not have the time to manually go through all of this. And sure enough, my friend did already have a disc that was called Disc E. Did already have a disc called Disc E. And that had like almost all of his important files. And if he were to change the drive letter, that would screw up like almost all of his like important files. So that wasn't happening. My other friend wasn't available. So that was out the window. So I was like, okay, what else can I do? And I'm thinking, all right, I have like 2 laptops. Neither of them are that good, but I do have 2 laptops, and maybe one of them could export the video. You know, it would take a long time, but maybe it would still export it by the end of the day. And this was around the 31st. This was literally how I was spending my New Year's Eve. My entire New Year's Eve was just being spent trying to export this video. So I'm just there like, okay, come on. You gotta get exported. Come on, export the thing. Export it, export it. And it literally, it didn't even get to, it got to like 1% in like 3 hours. 3 hours it got to 1%, and I was like, okay, no, this isn't going to work. It wouldn't blue screen. Like for sure it wouldn't blue screen. It would export, but it would have taken like 2 days. So I'm like, what do I do? Genuinely, what do I do? And eventually I was just like, alright, you know what? My computer actually hasn't blue screened in like a few hours. I'll just try exporting it again. I'll just try exporting it again, cross my fingers, pray to the banana gods that this thing will get exported. And it was just, I was like 5 hours later, I was sitting at my computer. I was sitting at my computer making sure that it didn't go idle, making sure that I would just keep moving the mouse at some points, just praying that if I look at it, it'd be like the booze from Mario, where you look at it and it doesn't do anything, but the second you look away, it starts chasing you, you know? I was hoping that it would work like that. And it was getting up to like 99%, and it said like there was 2 minutes left, and I was like, okay, 2 minutes left, 99%. But then it was 3 minutes at 99%. It was 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Before I know it, okay, it was like an hour of me waiting. I was like, hey, what's going on? I was sitting there for an hour, and it was sitting at 99%, and I'm just like scared. I was like, my heart can't handle this. I wanted to see it get to 100%, see the check mark, the total time it took to export, but no, it was just staring at me like, I'm not exporting. What do you think? Do you think I'm gonna go past 99%? No. I'm just like, okay, come on. Come on, dude. Man, that's just sitting at, I'm just, okay, what the heck? So I'm just looking it up. I'm like, okay, shortcut export sitting at 99% for too long, and some people were saying, yeah, this is something that happens sometimes. Sometimes it gets stuck at 99%, and you just have to wait for it, and it'll take a bit. But people were saying it shouldn't take longer than like 2 hours. And I think it was or like longer than an hour and a half or an hour, and it's been around 2 hours of just waiting for it to get past 99%. So I'm just like, frick, dude. I'm just sitting there, man. What do I do here? And so someone suggests, what if you like pause the export and then replay it? Like pause the export and then play it again. And I'm like, okay. I'll pause it and then replay it. And I do that, and then it doesn't say a percentage, and it doesn't have an ETA, and I'm just like, oh no, did I just reset the entire thing? oh no, what did I just do? So then I'm sitting here, oh no, like I'm paranoid, I'm panicking, like I need to get this out by the end of the year. Please export. And I'm about to like break down at this point. I'm like, God, this is just horrible. Someone else was saying that maybe it is exported. Sometimes the video is fully exported, but it still just says 99%, so you should go check the video. I checked the video, it's not fully exported yet. So I'm sitting there and I'm just like, okay, no. I think I might have screwed everything up. And I look up on my computer. Sure enough, it is fully exported. There's the check mark. It said the ETA that it took, the amount of time it took to export. I'm like, what? And I go to the video, sure enough, it's fully exported, and guess what? You'll never believe this. This actually sounds like something out of a damn movie. Right as I check the video to make sure it's there, and I see for sure it's all exported and everything's done, then my computer decides to blue screen. Right, like not even kidding. Right after the video finished exporting in full, that is when the blue screen happened, and that is absolutely insane. That is utterly nutty. That's how that ended up working out. I cannot believe that worked out like that. That's insane. What? The blue screen, they were patiently waiting. The blue screen was like, the computer was like, come on, I want a blue screen so bad. And I'm like, no. Patiently waiting for the video to export. And it just, that's unbelievable. What? But it ended up fully exporting, so I'm like, okay, I immediately reset my computer, go to upload the video, and I'm ready to upload it, and people on Discord are thinking that this video is gone. I'm like, they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, man, and I'm just here like, oh, I want to upload it so bad. So we're at like 11 p.m. on New Year's Eve. 11 p.m. on New Year's Eve, like, no, this is actually a movie, you know? 11 p.m. on New Year's Eve, it takes about till like 11:40 to export or whatever. I have everything done, the title, the description, the tags. The video description I work on while I edit the video because I have all the gameplay footage I use in the description. So as I'm making the video, I end up pasting all the links I use for videos in the description. So I just literally had to copy and paste the notepad onto the description to get it all written. And I'm just sitting there like, okay, it's almost exported, it's almost processed in HD. It's a 2K video, so it's like 1440p. And I'm just like, okay, it's all gonna get ready to export. It's all gonna be ready to export, and it's all gonna be ready to upload, rather, not export. So it's gonna be ready to upload, and guess what? At the 11th hour, literally like 11:40 p.m. on New Year's Eve, I'm trying to get this video out by the end of the year. I get a copyright claim on the video. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? What did I use that is copyright claimed? Like, you need, like, for all the shit that people give Nintendo for copyright, you know, like because of the partner program they have, not once have I ever had to deal with a copyright claim from Nintendo for using their music or using their gameplay or anything. And I look at it and I see I got a copyright claim. It was a false copyright claim from some random music label in like bumfuck Missouri. In the middle of nowhere, like Omaha, Nebraska, some random place, just like a field somewhere, I don't know, in the US. And I'm just sitting there like, what? You don't own this music. You don't own the music. What do I do? And I'm just like, okay, at this point, I'll deal with this later. I don't care. I'm gonna upload it with the copyright claim. I don't care. So I go to upload it and I'm clicking on like the different tabs at the top. It says like visibility or whatever, and I can't click it. There's like a red circle around it like saying, nope, you can't click it. And I'm like, why can't I click it? It's literally not letting. I'm like, did YouTube update so that you can't upload it? Like you can't even like upload the video if you get a copyright claim? Because it said channel not affected by the copyright claim. I'm like, what? I'm clicking it and I'm panicking. So I phone up Trevor. I call Trevor here and I'm like, hey, you know, what's happening? I go on Discord, I'm panicking, I'm like, hey, the Bonanza video, it's all ready. It's like, it's exported, it's all ready to go. I have it uploaded and there's a copyright claim. It's not letting me upload the video. He's like, what do you mean it's not letting you upload the video? What are you talking about? I'm like, Trevor, you literally, we cannot upload the damn video. By the way, if you don't know, Trevor is Gaming Magic 13. Sorry. No, if anyone is like, who the fuck is Trevor? That's who he is. But yeah, so I'm sitting there like, hey, I can't upload this. I can't upload this video. And he's like, what do you mean you can't upload it? I'm like, it's literally not letting me click. Like, I'm trying to click. I'm like, it's not letting me click on it. And he's like, okay, share your screen and let's see. And I'm like, yeah, look, see, I'm showing him I can't click on it. And then he's like, so I'm assuming the next button isn't working either. I'm like, what do you mean the next button? I look down. Oh, there is a button at the very bottom that just says next. And I click on it and it works. YouTube, what the hell, man? What the hell, YouTube? What is that? What is that, YouTube? Really? Like you can't click on the visibility section to upload it, but you have to click a next button that's at the bottom of the screen, which I didn't even notice because I'm over here panicking. Like, what is that? YouTube trying to give me a heart attack, man. Jeez, dude. So I'm just like, oh, okay, all right. Thank you. I'm going to get the video uploaded and everything. All right, and I'm going to go. Done. I'm just going to get ready to upload this. So I leave the call and I go to upload it and I'm like, okay, should I premiere this? Because apparently the way YouTube premieres work is that whenever you start the premiere, that's the date that shows up on the video VOD, you know? So if you were to start the premiere at like 11:45 p.m. on New Year's Eve, it would still say that you uploaded the video in 2025 and not 2026, even though the premiere would go into the new year. So I do that and everything goes well, except for the fact that I couldn't see a 2K 1440p video option when it was premiering. But turns out the 1440p did apply after the premiere concluded. The video all looks good, everything went fine. Oh man. Oh man, everything got exported. I got the video released and started the premiere at like 11:45 p.m. on 2025 New Year's Eve, and I fulfilled my promise of getting the Bonanza video out by the end of the year. That was a long story. You know, the water bottle, this kind of functions like an hourglass. I can see how long I've been going for by how much water I have left in the bottle. And it even has like a measurement thing. It shows like 24 ounces at the top, or I'm guessing OZ is ounce, like fluid ounces. And then it goes down like 500 milliliters, 16 ounces, and then 250 milliliters, 8 ounces. Currently it's just above like, it's between 24 and 16 ounces. I guess it's like maybe like 20 ounces, maybe like 19 ounces. I don't know. But yeah. So that's just the Bonanza video. But anyway, I'm really proud of that Bonanza video. But the thing is, I don't want to sound entitled here. I'm going to end up sounding entitled by saying this, but I'm going to still say it. I was really hoping that my Mario Kart World ranking video and the Bonanza video would perform better than they did. Like, I uploaded the Mario Kart World video, how long ago? It's been 4 months, at least. And it's at 743 views. And the Bonanza video I uploaded like 2 months ago, and it's at like a little over 500. I was really hoping that at least one of these two videos would end up hitting the algorithm and doing well, but none of them are even at 1,000 views yet, and it's like, I know I don't do YouTube just for the views, right? Like, I'm not doing it for the views. I do enjoy making videos, but it really hurts when I spend like over 2 months editing and producing a video, doing everything by myself. Like, every aspect of the videos are done by myself. And I'm just sitting here like almost like several hours a day, every day, trying to edit the Donkey Kong Bonanza video, and I'm really proud of it. And I put it out and like barely anyone even sees it. And it's just, man, like, my motivation like at the start of this year has kind of like been really low, and I think that's a big part of why. It's like, do I really want to spend over 2 months making another really long, really like thorough, well made, I mean that's patting myself on the back a little bit too much, that sounds arrogant, like a fully edited 2.5 hour long review video, and then put it out and have it like barely get any more views than all my other videos, which don't even take much effort. Like, I think my most popular videos on the channel, if I start by popular, Most popular is the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Wave 6 predictions video, which has 1.3 thousand views right now, and that didn't take that much work to make. It's only like a 23-minute long video. The second is my channel trailer, Let's Do This, at 1.1k, which also didn't take that much work. And then my third video is the Nintendo Switch 2 initial impressions at 1,000 views. That video, I literally did probably the worst unboxing on the entire platform. I don't think there is a Nintendo Switch 2 unboxing video on all of YouTube that is as bad as that one. Because I had to whisper the entire time because I was at my grandma's and she was sleeping. But yeah, people really like the ASMR unboxing apparently, and yeah, it's just... Then I made my initial impressions, which was just me yapping into the mic just like this. But yeah, my most popular video that's actually like edited is the updated predictions and wishlist video for the Switch 2, which is at almost 1,000 views. And yeah, I was really hoping that the Mario Kart World ranking video and the Bonanza video would do better. And I'm disappointed that they didn't. Because like I've seen a lot of Bonanza reviews and Mario Kart World videos and my recommended that are like popping off, and it's just... YouTube has this hype point system. However, you need to have like 500 or like 1,000 subscribers to have hype points enabled, and that sucks. Like the hype points, I think, is one of the best features that YouTube has implemented. For those who don't know, hype points is when a video comes out from a smaller creator. I think it's like you need to have like from like 1,000 to 100,000 subscribers, and you release a video. There's a hype feature where you can click and like give hype points to a video, and that pushes it in the algorithm more. So if you like a video from a smaller creator, you can hit the hype button and that'll give it points, and the more points it has, the more it gets pushed out to people. And there's like a leaderboard in terms of like what the 100 most hyped videos are, and out of all those, I think that's a great feature. That's a really good feature. But it sucks that it's not available to like less than 1,000 subscribers, you know? Like those are people, like we should also have hype features. Like those are the people that need it the most. But I still think that's a really good feature, and I love that YouTube implemented it. It's one of the only good features they've added in recent memory, so like you gotta take what you can get. So yeah, the state of the channel in the future. This year I mentioned it's gonna be more akin to my 2024 output than my 2025 output, and I'm not going to get a whole lot of videos out this year, but I do have plans. So my planned videos, first of all, there's some videos I tried to record in 2024 but didn't end up finishing, and I'll tell you what some of these are. So first was I mentioned that there was a really long video that was in the style, or not in the style, it was a really long video. And it was not something I would usually talk about on the channel, you know? And I'll tell you what it is. It was a ranking video. I don't want to say what I was ranking though. I'll leave it at that. It was a ranking video, and I got probably at least like 6 hours of audio recorded for it. Like it wouldn't be a highly edited video, but yeah, I haven't even finished recording that. I've almost finished recording it, but I think I haven't went back and listened to any of it, but I can guarantee there's at least 6 hours of it. And I don't think I want to put it to waste, you know, even though it is ranking stuff that most people didn't subscribe to the channel for, but I don't want to put all that work to waste. Like that's 6+ hours of audio recorded. I haven't even edited any of it. By the time I edit the audio, it'll probably be more like 5 hours. I'll probably end up finishing it, but I don't know for sure. Just if nothing else, I don't want like the 2 or more, like 3 or so months of audio recording I spent on that to go to waste. But yeah, so there's a ranking video that's really long. I'll probably end up finishing it just to get it out. And then another video I was working on was, I mentioned it was a really short video, and it was a review of a video game that was done in the style of another YouTuber who has something to do with the game. And I'll just come out and say what it is. It was a review for Animal Well. Animal Well, for those who don't know, is an indie game that made by like mostly one guy, and it's a Metroidvania, and I really enjoyed it when I played it. and I went to make a review of it, and I was gonna make a review of it in the style of a video game donkey, like Dunk View, like those really short game reviews that he does, because Donkey's publishing company Big Mode published the game, so it would work out, you know. It would be called like Animal Well in brackets Avert View, and I was actually doing it in the style of his videos, and I haven't went back and listened to any of it, but I got a decent amount of it recorded, so I'll probably end up finishing that. I think the anniversary of Animal Well is like sometime in May, so that might actually work out good as like a May video. But yeah, I think I'll finish that up. And final video I was working on, I think it was the final, I think these are the only 3 I was working on. Final video I was working on, I mentioned it was a really long video, like a really long, really highly edited video, and I'll say what it is. It was going to be a video comparing Sonic Superstars to Sonic Mania, because it was right around the time when I first got Sonic Superstars for Christmas of like 2023, and I was okay, I'll make a video on it. I want to cover it on the channel, but I don't think Sonic Superstars is interesting enough to hold an entire video, to carry an entire video just talking about it by itself. So instead I decided that I was going to make a video comparing it to Sonic Mania, because Sonic Mania is one of my favorite games of all time, and I want to cover that in the channel in some capacity too, so I thought it would work out. I recorded like maybe 10 minutes of it and got 10 minutes of it edited. I'm not doing it. I'm not putting the video out. I'm just going to say right now that that video will not be complete, because I think we're at the point now in which most people understand that Mania is better than Superstars in like almost, like pretty much every single way. I don't think there's a single thing that Superstars does better than Mania, except maybe the originality, you know? Like Sonic Superstars is all original zones, but even then, so many of the game's zones are just like kind of like ripping off other Sonic zones. Like Press Factory, really? It's just Press Garden without the garden that made it so interesting. Like taking other mechanics that Mania used or whatever, just bleh. I don't know, it's a decent game, but I don't think I want to like cover it in full on the channel. I don't think it warrants a full cover on the channel. Like there's other games I played that I'm not going to cover on the channel, and I'm not going to cover every single new video game I play on this channel. That's not going to happen. So yeah, the Sonic Superstars vs Mania video, it's not happening. I'm not going to end up finishing it, but that's just going to get cancelled. Maybe at some point I'll upload like the unlisted 10 minutes of editing I got done for it on like the community tab or something. I don't know, but yeah, I don't think I'm gonna end up. Not that I don't think. I know for a fact I'm not finishing that video. It's not coming out. But I'll leave the thumbnail on the screen here, because I'm really proud of the thumbnail I ended up making for it, and I don't want the thumbnail to go to waste. So I'll just I'll just leave it there. But I'll probably end up covering Mania on the channel at some point, but it'll just be a full review. So those are the 3 projects that I was working on in 2024, and none of those got finished, so I'll probably try to finish the ranking video I'm working on, and also that Animal Well review for this year. Other than that, plans for the new videos, future videos. The next video I put out will be a video talking about the Game Awards 2025. I meant to have it out in December of last year, you know, when the awards happen, but I actually think it's a good thing that it's taking this long to make, because there have been new developments happening regarding the Game Awards. So many new things to talk about, like, for instance, Team Cherry ended up announcing Hollow Knight Silksong DLC, and they did that by themselves, like, right after the Game Awards. They could have easily announced it at the Game Awards, but they didn't, and I guarantee you they only did that just to spite Jeff Keighley. So that's going to be interesting to talk about. There's other things, like the fact that it was coming out that like, what was it? The Divinity game that they showed off, they were saying that they were using generative AI for its pre-production, and they got massive backlash from that, and rightfully so, and they ended up backtracking on it, saying they're actually not going to use generative AI now, so that's good. It shows you that your voice does matter, and like if enough people speak out about something, that can actually influence change. Just something to think about. But yeah, that happened. And then apparently Gene Park came out and said that Expedition 33 also used generative AI for its pre-production, and that game ended up sweeping the entire awards show. So I'm definitely going to be talking about that, because there's so many people that are rightfully able to criticize Divinity for using generative AI for its pre-production, but then it turns out that Expedition 33 used generative AI in almost the exact same way, but people are defending that because that's a game that's like beloved by people. It's a critically acclaimed game, so people are more willing to defend the AI usage there. And I think that's really bad, and I'm definitely covering that in my Game Awards video, no question. And yeah, so that's a thing. And that, like, Expedition 33, it swept the entire award show, even in categories which I don't think it deserved to win at all. Even though I haven't played the game, but I have seen footage of it, I can tell you right now it did not deserve to win Best Art Direction over Hollow Knight Silksong. It just didn't. It simply did not. And yeah, so also Best Art Direction, when there was literally AI art in the game, like in the final build of the game, it only got removed because people noticed that it used AI art, so they ended up taking it out of the game. But it makes you wonder, like, you know, how much AI art is still in the game and just never got removed because nobody noticed? That's like, could you answer that? Do you know for sure all trace of generative AI art has been removed from Expedition 33? You can't be certain. But yeah, again, like fucking, that's the state of the industry right now, and the world as a whole. A game that used generative AI for its pre-production and had AI art in the final build of the game won Best Art Direction. That insane, man. But yeah, there's that. And oh yeah, can't forget to mention the High Guard situation. Oh my god, dude. Jeff Keighley, like, this is probably the most embarrassing moment in Jeff Keighley's entire career. The most embarrassing. It is, I can't believe it. So at the Game Awards, the final announcement was a new, what is it, like a new freaking free-to-play, what's the name, like hero shooter or whatever? Live service game, that's it. And it's, I don't think it is a hero shooter, but, you know, a free-to-play live service game, and that was the final announcement at the Game Awards. That was the big thing. That was Jeff Keighley doing the whole, I can't believe I have the opportunity to announce this game here. This is one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. This game will change the industry as we know it. And then he shows off a live service game, and everybody was like, okay, this is just going to be the next Concord. That's all that's going to happen. This is just going to be the next Concord. Like, what do you expect to happen from this? And Jeff Keighley was like talking big game on Twitter. He was like, oh, you'll see when this comes out, you'll be blown away by this game. And people are like, what? And like, there was no advertising for the game at all up until release. Then the game released, and they ended up dropping like 30 videos the same day advertising the game. It's like, why were you not sprinkling these out throughout like the months up to release? Right? It's so stupid. Sure enough, High Guard ends up coming out, and it has a pretty good player base the first day, but that's just people wanting to see how bad it is. Turns out, from what I've seen, the game is just mid, and you know, it's not a bad game by any means, but it's not a memorable one or interesting at all. It's just like mediocre. And sure enough, guess what's happening now? The game is shutting down. The game is shutting down. Jeff Keighley tweeted, High Guard shuts down on like March 12th or whatever. I don't know what the date is. And like, I can only imagine him like posting that with like tears in his eyes. Like, Jeff Keighley probably is the reason the game died, you know? According to the developers of High Guard, they didn't actually want to like have a big reveal for it. They wanted to shadow drop the game. They wanted to shadow drop it like on just randomly out of nowhere, boom. But apparently Jeff Keighley played it and he loved the game so much that he personally decided to go ahead and like reveal that as like the final reveal of the Game Awards. And that's so dumb. That's so dumb, man. Jeez, dude. There's also like the Half-Life 3 copers, people who for some reason thought that Half-Life 3 would be shown off at the Game Awards, and I was like, that's not going to happen. And sure enough, it didn't happen. But like, what kind of final reveal is that? You want your final reveal to be a big, good thing, you know? You don't want your final reveal to be some bullshit. And sure enough, nobody cared. It looked almost exactly the same as every other game that they showed off that looks the same. And just, and it was dead on arrival. Now all the people that worked on it, they're all being laid off, which sucks. It always sucks to see people like artists in the industry and like artists in general being laid off. Just like, man, like with this current state of the art world, like AI replacing jobs, the fact that the current job market in general is just so hard, like artists having to go on Twitter to do commissions to like make a like to scrape money to get by, it just sucks. And to see people have to get laid off, like I do think Jeff Keighley, you are responsible for these layoffs. The game, if what the intended route ended up happening and the game did just end up shadow dropping, I do like well and truly believe that the game, it probably still wouldn't have done too well, but it wouldn't be dead on arrival, you know? People would be like, oh, look at that new game, shadow drop, whatever, and they would, like, they had like a whole year-long plan for like post-launch, and they're ending up just cutting off the game like a few months after release. That sucks. I know everyone wants to really quickly just dunk on the game because it's funny to dunk on the game. Haha, Concord 2, high chord, haha, high guard, high, over, guard, watch, get it, funny. You know, like I'm also like gonna dunk on the game because it's a fucking another just a boring generic live service game. But it still does really suck that all of the people who worked on it, who genuinely did seem to be passionate for it, are all gonna be laid off now. And it just sucks. It just sucks. It really does just suck. No one is happy about this at High Guard, the studio. But yeah, that's gonna be a thing I cover. And if I made the video back in December, I would not be able to talk about that entire High Guard fiasco. Like, people were thinking like, okay, either this is going to be a game that doesn't even make it to release. It's either going to be dead on arrival or dead before arrival. Turns out it was dead on arrival. They did actually release a video game, which some people probably were thinking like wouldn't even happen. But yeah, it's already getting shut down. It isn't as big of a failure as Concord. Concord literally lasted like 2 weeks. They spent a ginormous budget on it. They worked on it for like 8 years. Like right after Overwatch release, they started working on it. And they put it out, and it ended up being delisted in like 2 weeks. People got refunds for it. Yeah. But yeah, there's so much I want to cover in the Game Awards video. And I also want to talk about the current state of the gaming industry as a whole, as well as my thoughts on all of the games that came out last year that I played. So like there'll be a little like mini Silk Song review, a Split Fiction review, all that. But I won't cover Mario Kart World because of the next video I plan on making this year, which is a Mario Kart World versus Mario Kart 8 Deluxe video, a video comparing the two. I did a poll as to whether people wanted to see me cover Mario Kart World first or Metroid Prime 4 Beyond first, because I am definitely going to make a review of Metroid Prime 4 Beyond at some point. I don't know when, but I do want to make a review of Metroid Prime 4 Beyond because I have thoughts on the game, because the game is pretty disappointing, and I wasn't even like a huge Metroid Prime fan. Like, I only got into Metroid Prime at the end of last year. I played the trilogy right before the game came out, and even I was like, yeah, this is pretty disappointing, but that's gonna be for later. People wanted to see a Mario Kart World review, so then I'm thinking, okay, do I want to do a review on the game itself, or do I want to make a video comparing it to 8 Deluxe? So I did a poll, and the winner of the poll is people wanted to see a video comparing it to 8 Deluxe, so I'm going to do that. And that's going to be good, because I get to cover 8 Deluxe on the channel. That's one of my favorite games of all time. It's going to be a really interesting video. I think, unlike the Sonic Superstars versus Sonic Mania video, in which the Sonic Mania is easily the better game of the two, Mario Kart World and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe are much closer in terms of quality, and they actually have like one of the games does some things better than the other game does some things better than the other. Like, it works out. It's gonna be an actual like competition, because yeah, Mario Kart World does some things better than 8 Deluxe, and 8 Deluxe does some things better than World. So I do think it'll be an actually like worthy video to compare the two. So that's gonna be what I do after the Game Awards video. And yeah, that'll be interesting, but that'll take a lot of work. Oh, I forgot to mention the Game Awards video. That's going to be the first video on this channel that I'm actually going to be scripting. I haven't wrote a script for any other video on my channel. I've literally just like rambled on into the mic. I'd like, in my notes app, I would write what I want to talk about, and then I would just yap about it by myself. I didn't have a script for any of that, but I'm writing a script. I'm in the middle of writing the script for the Game Awards video. I haven't even like started work on the actual video itself. I haven't been doing any YouTube video progress at all this year, unless you count the YouTube shorts I've done for the Bonanza video clips, which at this point, like, if making YouTube shorts video clips is what it takes to get more people to watch my videos, then so be it. Alright, so yeah, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond review is going to happen at some point. And I think those are the main plans I have for videos right now. I don't think there's anything else I'm working on besides everything I've outlined. So to recap, future of the channel, this year's output, I'm not going to have a whole lot of videos this year because of everything that's happening. Discord just gave me a notification, so I should probably go ahead and turn on Do Not Disturb. Alright, Do Not Disturb is activated. And yeah. So yeah, recap of all the videos I'm working on. Videos from 2024, a really long ranking video where I'm ranking a bunch of things that I usually don't talk about on the channel. That's going to be really long, probably going to end up getting that out sometime by the end of the year, but that's not a priority. Next is a review of Animal Well, done in the style of a video game Donkey Dunk View. That's going to be a short video, probably going to get that out by May for the anniversary, hopefully. Next are new videos. Next video I do is going to be a video talking about the Game Awards 2025, and that's going to be the next video I do. I'm going to start production on it soon. I've already started production on it actually, I just need to finish production on it, finish the script for everything, get that all recorded, edited, uploaded, and then the Mario Kart World vs. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe video, and a Metroid Prime 4 Beyond review. That's all that I have planned for right now, but odds are I'm going to make some new stuff as well. Once Nintendo does a direct at any point, they've been doing everything but a direct. They've been doing like, they did a partner showcase, they did a indie world, we've not gotten a direct, and like, that's a little bit concerning, a little bit, because we're still waiting to see, like, we don't have a big Nintendo game coming out this year. We don't have a big one. People thought that Pokemon Gen 10 would be the big thing for this year. That's coming out next year, which is good. That gives them time to polish the game and everything, but that means that there is no big first-party Nintendo game releasing this year that's exclusive to Switch 2. I'm still placing my bets that we'll see a 3D Mario. I'm still placing my bets. Super Mario Galaxy 3, and you have Cappy. It has Mario Odyssey's movement, but Mario Galaxy's formula. That's gonna happen. It's gonna be announced like maybe in June, and it'll be released by the end of the year, maybe like a October game, because they don't want to release it in November because that'll conflict with GTA 6. If that doesn't get delayed, that's my prediction. Yeah. Again, we're at the point where there's not like a whole lot to look forward to this year. Main thing I'm looking forward to is really just Deltarune Chapter 5. I actually am, like, I'm more invested in Deltarune now after 3 and 4 came out, or Chapter 3 and 4 came out, than I have been at any point in the past. So I'm looking forward to Chapter 5. I'm guessing it's gonna, I mean, I was guessing it would have a May release date, but I'm starting to question that. I'm starting to think it'll just be a June release date again. So we can look forward to that. And yeah, that's all the videos I have planned for this channel, and also like the current state of the channel. Yeah. So now I want to yap a bit about my personal life, because I said a bunch of times recently that stuff has been going on in personal life that has been like really eating at me, and I kind of want to just talk about some of it. I'm not going to go into like immense detail, but I do want to give you the gist of what's been happening. So last year, around like April, it was in the middle of watching the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct in the morning. My dad ended up coming into my room, and he ended up telling me, he gave me an ultimatum. He was like, here, find out what you're doing with the rest of your life, or I am going to kick you out by the end of the month. I have till the end of the month to like find out what I'm going to be doing or whatever, and if I don't do it, he'll kick me out. And you know, that kind of ruined the entire Direct for me when I was watching it. it was like right at the minute we were watching the Mario Kart World trailer, and immediately he came in and said that, and yeah, that ruined the whole day for me. And you know, the month ended up passing, and I didn't get kicked out, but that's because I gave him, I'm like, here's a plan. He was like, you know, that plan's probably not the best, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And he was like, I'm not kicking you out. Okay, cool, whatever. I think my plan was, I was like, hey, maybe I can get into photography. You know, I could see myself doing photography. I'm good at it. And he was like, you know, someone in our family, I think one of my aunts, is a photographer, and she did like wedding photography, and apparently she's had to get like another job because it doesn't pay that well. So he's like, the job, it's like, I could see you doing it, but it's not like, it doesn't pay that well. So I was like, all right, whatever. But yeah, I didn't end up getting kicked out. But a few months later, something else that actually is actually big and impactful happened, and that is that my parents got a divorce. My parents got a divorce, and that is impactful because they were married for like over 18 years. I don't know, it's like 19, 20 years, or was it 28 years? I don't know. It was either like 18 or 28. They've been married for a long time. Whatever. 18 is still a long time, right? They've been married for almost 2 decades around that time. And this divorce, like that, it literally kind of came out of nowhere. You know? Like, there were a few weeks in which they were like kind of like arguing or whatever. And the tension seemed to be kind of I said I didn't want to get involved. But apparently what happened was, one day they were gonna be, it was like one Friday in the middle of like July or whatever. I think it was like the end of July, beginning of August. They were gonna go on a camping trip for the weekend, and they were all getting packed and everything ready to go. And I was over here. I went to sleep really early because I was excited to like have the house to myself for the weekend. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get to use the big TV in the living room and all this other shit. And I ended up getting woken up in the middle of the night. By the RCMP, which, if you don't know, it's the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. It's just the Canadian Police, RCMP, whatever. And I ended up waking up because one of the officers was putting a flashlight in my face. And I was just like, what is happening right now? Like, I was not expecting to wake up to a bunch of different, like, police officers in my bedroom. You know? Like, I'm over here sleeping in pajamas, no shirt on. I'm just sitting here, like, looking, like, what the heck? What is happening right now? But, yeah, apparently what ended up happening was my parents, they had a huge fight that ended up flipping over or whatever. And my dad ended up running into like the woods because we live in the middle of nowhere. All right, he ended up running and hiding somewhere. I don't know. And like, yeah, it was just a whole situation. I was sitting there. I was like, what the heck? Apparently, they thought that I might have been my dad. You know, they saw a mustache and a beard. They're like, oh. There's another, like, they didn't know that I was going to be here. So, like, apparently my mom called the police because the argument got out of hand. They ended up coming into my bedroom, and they thought that I was my dad, maybe. They're like, hey, wait, there's another person here, a male, unaccounted for. And, yeah, it's just, you know, just a whole situation. I had to drive my mom and I to, like, a hotel for the night. And, you know, that's actually kind of illegal, but the cops allowed it. The cops were like, yeah, you can violate the law in this instance. I guess, like, with police officers, whatever they say is legal, it's illegal now, apparently. Like, it's illegal. I don't have a full license. I only have my beginner's. And the law in Canada states that if you're driving a beginner's license, you need to have someone in the passenger seat with, like, what is it? Less than 0.5% blood alcohol content. And you need to, like, they need to have a license for at least 3 years, which my mom does, but they allowed it, even though, like, they shouldn't have allowed it. That's illegal. Driving with someone in the passenger seat who's drunk with only a beginner's license, that's not allowed, but whatever, the cops said you could do it. So I don't know why the police couldn't just drive us to the hotel or whatever, but fuck it. So we ended up staying the night at the hotel. I ended up spending a few weeks at my grandma's condo there, and it's a whole situation. And basically, apparently, my mom ended up getting a restraining order on my dad so that he couldn't come into like the house. And so my dad was like living at my brother's for a few months there, and just those were the months where I was live streaming, because I was able to live stream then. But now the situation right now is I currently live in the house with my dad, and my mom lives at my grandma's condo right now. And that is the current situation. And it all happened so fast. It still doesn't even like feel like it was a real thing that happened. But yeah, that's the situation. And it really sucks. You know, it really does suck for all parties involved. But I guess it is what it is. But yeah, so that's been happening. And while all of this is happening, you know, with the world the state as it is, I still need to figure out what I'm doing with my life. I have zero idea. I have made no progress since like my first ever Yappathon I ever did last year. I have made zero progress in figuring out what I want to do. So my dad, he suggested to me, he was like, hey, you should join the armed forces. And I'm like, no. Immediately, no. I have zero intention of ever joining the military, ever being involved with the military in any form whatsoever. Whether that be the person actually killing people, whether that be the person doing the electricity for the tank. No. No thanks. I'll pass. Apparently, I found out recently one of my old friends, who I don't speak with a whole lot anymore, is apparently going into the Navy, so we'll see how long that lasts. But yeah, I don't want anything to do with the military whatsoever, especially now. But yeah, for some reason he hasn't suggested joining the military in a while. I wonder why. But yeah. So I'm like, no, don't want to do that. But another thing he suggested was taking a skilled trade. So like, I don't know, like being an electrician or a plumber or whatever. Just any skilled trade. And I'm like, I'd rather do that than join the military. But like, I don't know what I would be interested in there, you know? Like, I could probably see myself being an electrician, but could I see myself enjoying being an electrician? Like, it would pay well. It would actually be like you're doing something beneficial for society. But I don't really want to do that. Recently, he suggested being a dentist, which is really weird. He's like, I could totally see you being a dentist. I'm like, Dad, how could you, literally, how can you see me being a dentist? When have I ever showed interest in dentistry in my entire life? Like, I never have. Like, genuinely, as a kid, I barely even brushed my teeth. My teeth are fucked right now. That's why I have a lisp. Because my bottom tooth is like sticking out, like one of my bottom teeth sticks out more than all the other ones, so that's why I have a lisp. Guarantee you, if all my teeth were perfectly straight, I would not have a lisp. But yeah, it's just like, I don't know what I want to do. Like, the thing is, there's like inner turmoil where it's like anything that is desirable that you would actually want to do doesn't pay well, but everything that you wouldn't want to do does pay well. So it's like, try to find something in the middle where it's like it pays pretty well and you don't hate it. Like, I would love to do, like, honestly, like, easily what I would want to do is something in creative arts, right? I love art. It's great. You know, I love video games. I love movies, like TV, like paintings, all that. I love it all. And yeah, I would want to be like, I don't know, in the game industry, maybe in the film industry, or doing something. But you know what, the way the game industry currently is, it's just, man. But the way we're going now, the world might actually end soon, so maybe it would be beneficial to just choose what you want to do instead of going for, like, whatever pays. If I could choose anything to do, I would want to be a YouTuber. I've said this before. I would love to do YouTube as like a full-time job, but there's no school you can go to for that, right? That's just a luck. That's just, you gotta hope that the dart hits the bullseye on the dartboard. and you keep throwing darts, you keep making videos, and hope that one of those videos end up hitting the bullseye. And yeah, but just like, I don't know. A couple weeks ago, there was the local college that I was looking into was doing like an open doors thing where you can join into the college, and you could take like a tour of the classes and whatnot. And I went to this with the expectation that it would be like a full tour of literally everything, like every single class and every single course that is in the college. It would be a full tour, and it'd be like 2 hours or so long. And it turns out that's not at all what it was. It was hour-long tours, and you had to like choose which tour you would get. So there was a creative arts tour, there was like a business tour, there was like a, I don't know, like a culinary arts tour, which is like cooking and everything. There was all these different tours, like IT tour, I think. Then there was like a general tour of just the campus. And most people only did one tour. So, like, because we didn't have a lot of time, right? I don't think there was even enough time in the entire day to do every last tour, because all of them were like 1 hour long, and there was like 6 or 7 of them. But I ended up picking the creative arts tour. There was 2 different creative arts. I picked the one that had like video games, films, and like digital media design and animation and all that. Just because like it was something I'm actually interested in. I was like, I'm gonna take a tour of this, and we took a tour of like they're working on a game right now, and there's one of the film teacher, like the film class guy, he actually made a really good point I didn't even like really consider in the past before, and that is that the college is in a city which I grew up in Canada, that like it has a lot of different movies that are filmed there. I'll just say it's Winnipeg. It's Winnipeg. Winnipeg has had so many different movies be filmed there. I can't think of on the top of my head. Oh yeah, there was the Violent Night movie, which was that like it was the Die Hard ripoff with Santa. It was like Die Hard if it was even more like a Christmas movie than it already is, because Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Okay. Films that were filmed in Winnipeg. But yeah, it's a major filming location. Apparently, there's an IMDb list here. I'm gonna look at this IMDb list and see if I find any like major standouts here. Apparently, the sequel to Nobody was filmed here. The original Nobody was filmed here. The fucking 2006 Silent Hill movie was filmed here. What else? The Resident Evil Apocalypse. What's with all these video game movies being recorded here? But don't worry though. Don't worry. Clown in a Cornfield was also recorded here. Whatever that is. Apparently, okay. There's apparently a sequel to Violent Night coming out this year. I didn't even know that. There's a movie called Goon. There's a movie called Goon that came out in 2011 that was filmed here, apparently. Alien Resurrection was filmed. Okay, maybe we don't have the best track record. I'm trying to see if I can find a single like good movie. Oh my god, Love Hurts was filmed here. Jesus. Okay, can I get a good movie that was filmed here? All right, here's a movie with Harrison Ford. K-19, The Maker was filmed here. A Dog's Purpose was filmed here. The original Violent Night, I mentioned that. Okay, come on. Give me an actual good movie here. Dragon Ball Evolution was filmed here. Cult of Chucky. The Grudge reboot thing. Oh, a little story about the Grudge reboot thing. Apparently, I know it was filmed here because my grandpa, on my dad's side, his van, they used it for the movie, which I watched the movie a little bit. I was skimming through it to see if I could find the van, and I couldn't find it. But he had like a green van, and that actually like they used it for the movie and paid him for it. Curse of Chucky. just a okay. I'm trying yet to find a single like actually like really high rated movie that was filmed here, but there are like a lot of movies that get filmed here, you know. And I think the main reason for that is because we have like all of these like old buildings. Oh, Silent Night was also the police force of a remote Midwestern town search for a killer Santa Claus who is picking off citizens on Christmas Eve, 2012. Dude, all of these like Santa Claus murder movies are recorded here. Yeah, a bunch of different like Christmas movies or whatever. Okay, well I can't find a lot of good movies, but there are a lot of movies. Wait, what? There's no way. There's actually what? No, there's actually no way. There's no. Okay, I cannot. Wait, I did not know this. So apparently, Home Alone 5: The Holiday Heist was filmed here. What do you mean? What do you mean Home Alone 5: The Holiday Heist was filmed here? What are you talking about? There's no way. I need to confirm this. Was Home Alone 5 filmed in Winnipeg? There's no way. Oh my god, it was. What? What do you mean? God, I need to rewatch it and see if I can find my old house in it. Probably not. It was recorded in an area that's far away from where I lived, so I mean, yeah. What? Oh, what do you mean? Okay. Yeah, well, apparently today I just learned that literally today. Well, I'm glad I scrolled through this entire list, because we're so far off course now. Anyway, it sends you back to the top of the list. Okay, I'm gonna scroll down. There's absolutely no way, bro. That's why I like it, ironically. Alright, scrolling down. Yeah, a lot of different Christmas. There's so many different, like, Hallmark Christmas movies that get recorded here. My mom works downtown, so she was saying that she would look out the window of her buildings and see, like, recordings happening. But anyway, the reason I mentioned... I'll keep scrolling while I talk and see if I find anything noteworthy. Killer Instinct movie. Oh, it's not. Nothing to do with the game. Alright, anyway. The reason I bring this up is because a lot of movies are filmed in the area, so if I were to do something in like film or whatever, it would I would have like a lot of different work opportunities because of how many movies get filmed here. And he showed like a whole list of like all the cast members and everyone that would join. And I'm like, you know what? I could maybe see myself doing that. All right. I'm still scrolling to see if I can find a single movie I even recognize. At this point, all these movies are ones I don't even recognize anymore. What? What the fuck? What? Oh. Okay, hold on. Wait. Whoa. There's a movie called Careful from 1992. It apparently has like a 7 out of 10, 62 Metacritic score. And the description: the wary residents of a 19th century mountain village must tread carefully and speak softly lest they cause an avalanche. Sexual frenzies teem in this world of repression, setting off incestuous love triangles with deadly consequences. What the fuck? Bro, what are they filming in my home city, bro? This was what? I need to remember, I need to do control click to open a new tab when I click so I don't have to re-scroll through the entire list again. Where was it? It was like 300, I think. It was movie number 300 on the list. Okay, I'll keep going. I'll probably cut some of this out. What? I didn't even see 275 seductive sex positions was filmed. Okay, sure. Yeah, what? Okay, I'm gonna do control click. There we go. Open it in a new tab. Apparently it's like a dark comedy. Okay, well, apparently it actually has, like, decent reviews. Then right below it, Hot Tub Party Massacre. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything else I even, like, recognize. Okay, there's another movie called Nobody from 2007. Apparently that, and you can tell by the description why it was filmed around here. A nameless assassin is hunted through the dark streets of an empty city. Like, you need to have like an empty cities sort of vibe. You go ahead and you film it at Winnipeg. There's a show called Too Mad. Oh wow, it's actually what? Okay, I'm learning new shit every second. What do you mean Too Mad was born in Winnipeg, bro? What are you talking about? No, like, actually, what are you talking about? What? What do you mean? What do you mean? What? Like, he lived in Los Angeles, obviously. Apparently he was born. What do you mean he was born in my city? What the fuck? What? Well, okay, I'm so glad I've done this whole scroll of all of this, dude. What? Okay, well, I'm learning all sorts of new shit here. Alright, screw it. I'm gonna learn famous people. We're so off course. What? What? Oh my god, dude. Alright. So today I learned Home Alone 5 and Too Mad. Home Alone 5 was filmed in the city I grew up in, and Too Mad was born in the city I grew up in. Okay, yeah, sure. There's a movie here literally called Get a Job. Just mocking me. I'm gonna go to like maybe like 500. Odds are I'm not gonna find any like other big movies this low. Okay, I'm gonna go to 500 and then I'm gonna stop. Okay, I got to 500. I barely anything. Okay, barely anything of note, but a lot of movies are filmed here, including Home Alone 5 apparently. Alright. What was I talking about? I was talking about how I need to find a job and what I'm doing with my life, and I have no idea. Instead, I'm over here yapping to my computer monitor, finding out that Too Mad was born in the city I grew up in. Alright, cool. Yep, I got, yep, yeah, sure. Whatever. That's a thing, I guess. Yeah. I have no idea what I want to do. So I took a tour of the college, and all of there was like different tours. I thought it would be one big tour. It was a bunch of small tours. I picked the Creative Arts 1 tour, and yeah, that was that. And I still don't know if I even want to go to college. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know. I remember when I was in high school, I was given 2 different like little pamphlet things. I don't know if they're like pieces. They're like little. It's like a 1-page brochure plastic thing. You can get the sound of them. The ASMR. I bumped my mic, sorry. But yeah, there was 2 little pamphlets I was handed for the Arts and Technology Center, and it was like broadcast media and new media design. The student services teacher said that I would probably be interested in one of these 2 things. But the thing of it is that both of these start in February, so I've missed the deadline for that. But they're both like 10-month courses, and one of them is like digital media. I'll read the description. So for new media design, it's like designed for students with a strong personal interest in the creation of interactive digital media applications such as websites, games, and apps. Students are provided with a solid foundation for careers such as junior web media designers and developers. This program builds a strong foundation for students who wish to pursue further post-secondary education in fields that include computer science, business, information technology, digital media design, and graphics and gaming at university or college. So this is a foundation to then go into university or college. Okay, never mind. This is like useless then. And then broadcast media designed for students with a strong personal interest in the production and transmission of audio or video programming for a variety of media, including radio, television, and the internet. Yep. So there's that. That exists. I don't know. I have no idea. but I need to find out soon because basically, odds are, well, not odds are, we will eventually have to sell the house that I live in right now. And it's a nice house, but I kind of hate it. I kind of hate it because, again, we live in the middle of nowhere. I've said this a lot, but it really is like, you know, I grew up in Winnipeg. We live a little bit outside of Winnipeg, and it's like a small town, and it's a far, far drive from the city. And when I lived in the city, I could just walk anywhere, you know? I could just walk from place to place, and everything was all fine. Now, if I want to go anywhere, I need a car, and I don't have a license. So I am looking forward to moving to this city. However, my dad has stated that he might not be moving to the city with me. He might move somewhere else. So I don't know what's going to happen. So like that really, like this brings a whole like ripple here. Because like if I end up finding a job that's somewhere near the town I live in right now, would that like, that would like if I had that job, I would only have it for what, a couple months before we have to move to a different location. Like once I find say I find a job around here and I get comfortable in that job and I do it for a bit, then what do I do after? I just have to go right back to like the finding a job in the city because I'm not going to drive into the town every day for work, right? I don't know. I mean, I guess my parents would drive into the city for work, so I mean, I don't know. I really just don't know what I want to do at all. And now it's at the point where it's like, this is like starting to feel more real than ever. We're going to have to sell this house because both of my parents, they both paid for this house, but now one of my parents isn't in the house. So it's just my dad paying for things, and my mom's going to stop paying for it eventually. And we won't be able to afford to live here anymore. So yeah, that's a thing. And you know, I really miss living in the city. You know, for as like unstable and rocky as the city is, it's insidious as the city is. I didn't mean to do that. Insidious as this city is, I still miss being there because I could just walk anywhere. I could walk to the mall and downtown from the same house. And when I was at my grandma's condo for a few weeks there, it really dawned on me just how much I missed being able to walk places, you know? Like, I was walking around the city, I was walking around my home area, the avenue where my old house was, and just like to the park to go on the swing and everything, and it's just like, I didn't realize just how good for my mental health it was to have a swing set in walking distance. You know, because I could just go right back to the condo and everything, and I was like, I would much rather live in a really small house and be in the city where I can walk places than live in this really big house, which is a really nice house, but I hate the location. You know, like the house I live in right now, it's the type of house that you would want to like go to for like a weekend or whatever, right? Like you're having a weekend getaway, so you go to this house. Like that's what that's like. Or you spend like a week there for spring break. It's not the type of place where you're gonna want to live. Like every day I wake up in the exact same room, and I've tried like a couple days ago I went for a walk and it was really windy. It was probably not the best day for that, but I needed to get some fresh air. And I went for a walk and I was just like, it's just all gravel roads. Where do I walk to? Like in the time it would take me at my old house to walk downtown, I would still be walking on the middle of gravel roads here. And that's just highly unfortunate. I really don't like that. Just bleh. But eventually we'll have to move back into the city, or I'll have to move into the city. I was thinking, you know, maybe my brother, my older brother, he's like 26, I think. He was born 98, so I need to pull out a calculator because I'm not going to do math right now. I'm yapping My brain is conserving power for the yap. 20, he hasn't had his birthday yet this year, so it'd be 2025. Subtract 1998. He's 27. He's 27 years old. And he has his own like apartment in the city that he lives in, and it's actually a pretty good location. I like the location that he lives in. And maybe I could ask him, hey, you know, maybe I could live with you. I'll do dishes, I'll cook, because I know how to cook. And I know most of what he eats is like air fryer, right? So I can cook. I know how to cook. I am capable of cooking a variety of different foods. And I can do it all by myself. I'm all good for it. You know, cooking was something that I was saying that I was interested in to my parents, but my dad brought up the point that cooking wouldn't make that much money. He said he keeps saying it's like a dead-end job, and my mom is like, you should do cooking. My dad's like, no, don't do it. It's a dead-end job. So I don't know. I could see myself doing cooking. Like, I enjoy cooking a lot. Like, I really enjoy cooking, but I don't know. But yeah, maybe I'll ask my brother if I can move in there. Like, I'd be okay with that. He used to have a guest bedroom, now he doesn't. So I'd probably have to sleep on like the couch or whatever. But I mean, I guess I'd bring my bed, and I don't know where my bed would end up going. I have to throw it in like the middle of like the living room. I don't know. But then I could get a job in the city, because I can't move into my grandma's condo. My grandma's condo only has the one bedroom. My grandma sleeps on the couch every day. And, like, I'm not going to sleep in bed with my mom. That's not happening. Nope. And there's no other bedrooms, no other place to sleep. Every time I go there, I have to sleep on the floor, and it's like, bleh. So yeah, I don't know. I don't talk with my brother a lot, and I think I should probably be better for that. Like, most of the family, I don't talk with, because my parents cut off most of the family because they required them to take a COVID vaccine to come over for Christmas, and both of my parents are extremely anti-COVID vaccine. I don't think they're anti-vax in general. Like, I don't think they're against vaccines in general, but they are against the COVID vaccine. And, yeah. So, the family members for Christmas, they were like, you need to get vaccinated or you can't come. And they're like, oh, this is tyranny. We're being oppressed here. Or whatever. We have the freedom to give people COVID. But, yeah, there was that. So yeah, I haven't seen most of my family in like over half a decade by this point. And my brother, I need to like this year, just in general, I want to make a better habit of actually speaking with people I haven't spoke to in a while, you know? Like, I want to talk with some like old friends I haven't seen in a while. Maybe we could get together and catch up. Maybe at some point. Like, I should be talking with them more, because I remember one of my old friends actually like messaged me, DM'd me on Instagram like, hey, I've seen some of your new videos and they're really good, and I don't know if you remember me, but it's been a while. I'm like, yeah, I do remember you. And yeah, maybe I should make an effort to hang out, which I would be able to do much easier if I lived in the city that they all lived in, and I could just walk to their house. Like, it was so good growing up. We had like the one road, right? We had the one road, and there was a bunch of avenues on the road, and we all lived in about like the same area. I lived like 2 blocks away from my school, and yeah, we could all just like, every time I was like, hey, you want to hang out? Sure. We just literally walk down the road and bam, you're there. It was the most convenient shit of all time. Now, if we want to have any sort of hangout or get together or anything, you need to be like, hey, I need someone to give me a ride, or I need to get like dropped off into the city when my parents are on the way to work, and then they pick me up at a certain time when they're off work, and it's just that sucks. That just really sucks. And yeah, so there's that. Huge tangent, but that's what the Yappathon is, alright? Yappathon, I just start yapping on. That's what you clicked on this video, expecting me to yap, I yap. But yeah, well, when I was at the condo, like, I would take a walk almost every night, and I'm like, man, there have been so many times in this house in which I'm like, okay, like, I need to clear my mind, I need to take a walk, but I can't because there's nowhere to walk to. Whereas at the old house, whenever something would happen or it's like a bad time or whatever, I could just take a walk. I could go to the park, swing on the swing while listening to music for a little bit, take a walk somewhere else, go back home. That was great. Now if I want that, I need to literally like get dropped off in the city in the morning when my parents are on their way to work. This time it'd be like when my dad's on his way to work. So yeah, can't go anywhere, and that sucks. I wish I could. And yeah, I don't know if there's anything else to talk about regarding this. Something that's been on my mind for a little bit here. It was about a week ago. So one of my friends, the ones that helped me build my computer, one of them, his cousin, she was in my class in high school. It was like my language arts class, and we would like do projects or whatever, and we would talk. And apparently, she just around a week ago or so, she made an Instagram post, and she announced that apparently she's pregnant and she's expecting a child, and that's been ringing around in my mind for like a week now, or at least like almost a week, because that just really hits like she can't be like any more than a year older than me, right? And I'm 20 years old, and I'm going to be turning 21 in the summer, and she has to be like at oldest like 21, maybe 22 years old, although I'm doubtful, like 21 at the oldest. And she's over here about to start a family, and I haven't even started a plan. You know? I'm really happy for her. I said congrats and everything. I notified my friend about it. He didn't know, and it was funny because when I notified him, I sent the Instagram post announcing that she's expecting, and I sent it to him. However, he has like several different accounts, and the one that I sent it to of him, his main account, wasn't following her, so he couldn't see the post that she made there. And I'm like, hey, did you see what happened with your cousin? He was like, no, what happened? And I send the post, and the post isn't showing up, so I got him like thinking like she got hit by like a car or something, and it was like some bad news. And I'm like, I had to assure him, no, it's good news, here, let me try posting it again. Didn't work. So I was like, okay, just go to her Instagram. And he was like, okay. And he was like, he came back, he said, wow, that's crazy. And I'm like, yeah, that is crazy, dude. Like, I'm over here, I have literally zero idea where to even begin doing something as like a plan for the future. Meanwhile, someone that was in my class like a few years ago is over here about to start a family. That is absolutely insane. And like, that means that for sure, since she's having a child, that means for sure that she is like fully confident that she is in a good enough place in life to where A, she can afford to raise a child, B, that she has like the time to do so, that she has like a plan for the future, like, hey, I'm going to have a stable enough job to where I can afford to take care of a child, that you are confident enough that the partner that she currently has is the one she's going to be sticking with for the rest of her life. And it's like, fuck, man. What am I even doing over here, dude? I'm over here yapping into a microphone. People I go to school with are starting families. This is the state that we are at. I can't believe it's been like 2.5 years almost since school has ended, and that's insane to me. The time truly has disappeared. It doesn't even feel like it's been a whole year ago since then, let alone 2.5. Jesus, dude. And that's just been ringing around in my head, you know? Like, I am really happy for her, but at the same time, it's hard not to be like at least a little bit jealous that they're like, everyone I know is over here. At the very least, they have a plan, right? They know what they want to do. They're like, I'm in university because I want to do this, and that, the other thing. you know, I'm going into this field. Some people I know, like some of my old friends I talked with again, and they told me that, hey, I'm going to be doing this in college or university. I'm like, I could never in a million years picture you doing this. Like one of my old friends, she's going to be a nurse. And I'm like, what? You're going to be a nurse? You're going to be like, I could not picture you in a million years being a nurse. One of my friends who was like one of the dumbest people I knew growing up. Sorry if you're watching, by the way. I don't actually mean that. But like he said that he was going to be an education assistant because his mom was. And I'm like, I could not picture you being an education assistant. I could not picture you doing this. But I guess I just have trouble picturing things because my dad was picturing that I could be a dentist. Okay, anything is possible apparently. But like, yeah, like that, it's just, fuck, I just can't stop thinking about that, dude. Like I was shell-shocked upon reading that, like, whoa. Like that is like my friend said it best, that's crazy. You know, like I've never even like been in a relationship. Kind of embarrassing to admit out loud, but fuck it. This is the Yappathon, all right? We just start yapping on. But yeah, I haven't even like been in a relationship ever, and I think like the closest I've ever gotten. Okay, I don't know. I guess okay, we're doing embarrassing junior high stories. For those that don't know, junior high in Canada, the way it worked here was like school. It would go from grade 1 to grade 8, and then high school is 9 to 12. So. At least for the schools I went to. So, for like grade 7 and 8 is considered junior high because that's like to get you prepared for high school, which is grade 9 and beyond. So, junior high, I think I was like in grade 7 when this happened. Basically, there was this girl that I had a crush on, and her friend had a crush on me, and I was not aware of this. And okay, this is a fucking stupid story. Fuck, we're gonna go, whatever. Basically, that girl I had a crush on, we all three of us, we all went out, and on the way home, because all of us, we had the same direction that we would go home, because I lived a block away from the school. Everyone else would all just go down the road, and I wouldn't have to go too far. So we all walked down, and we ended up exchanging numbers, and yeah. From there, I was unaware that she had assumed that we started a relationship. I was completely unaware, and I feel really stupid looking back at it. Like Avert, no shit, she thought you were in a relationship. Like literally, I remember we were hanging out at a park one evening, and she literally took a picture of us holding hands, and I was just like, oh yeah, that's what friends do. It's just friendly, you know, friends take pictures of each other holding hands all the time, right? But yeah, like I was completely unaware. She assumed we started a relationship, and I just saw her as like a friend, right? And I remember we were at shops like the next day, and people were asking me, because at my old school, news traveled like a damn lightning bolt, all right? Whenever something happened, instantly the entire block, the entire neighborhood would all just immediately know about it. I remember one of my old friends, he like, I don't want to start a tangent, but really quickly, one of my old friends, he got taken by CPS because of his parents. And immediately the news came out about that. Granted, he did literally live right across the street from the school. But like, yeah, no, he just like, yeah, fuck, I'm getting sidetracked. Anyway, at shops, the people there were asking me, oh hey, so this girl here, you love her, right? And I ended up, I was like no, and people were assuming that we were in a relationship. So me saying, hey, I don't love the person I'm in a relationship with, like everyone was rightfully like, wait, what the fuck? And I was like, wait, I mean, I like her as a friend, but I don't like love her like that. I was like, we're not in a relationship. And apparently, the news got back to her, and she was like heartbroken then. And I've since made up with her about that, because like, yeah, I was like, yeah, I was stupid. I didn't realize that you thought we were starting a relationship. I like you as a friend, however, I don't like you to that extent. And we all moved on. And yeah, we're not still friends to this day. I haven't spoken to her in like years. I don't think I've spoken to her since I've been at that school. I don't think I ever spoke to her in high school or beyond at all. So like it would have been like what, 2018-ish when this happened, which by the way, that is like 9 years ago almost. Like it's 8 years ago. 8 years ago was 2028. Just a reminder that that's just insane. Absolutely insane that that was like 8 years ago. I cannot believe it, man. But yeah, that's the closest I've ever been to actually being in a relationship. But I guess, you know, thinking about it, if I were to be in a relationship right now, would I be able to like to do that in the current state I'm in here? Like, I live in the middle of nowhere, right? And I have no plan for what I want to do or anything. Like, could I actually feasibly hold down a relationship in this state? Probably not. Probably not. You know, like literally I only had my first kiss like a few years ago, and I don't even know if I even count that. I don't even know if I count that, genuinely. I do not know if I count that, because I remember it vividly. It was the night where I was at, basically, so after high school ended back in 2023, again, like almost 2.5 years ago by this point. I can't believe that. Wait, no, that's like almost 3 years ago, actually. Summer of 2023, yeah, that's almost 3 years ago. What the fuck? wait, no, it's, right now it's been over 2.5 years. Wow. Okay, anyway. Time, man, don't think about it. Not real. But there was a girl at my school that I was friends with, and she was having a going away party because she has since moved to the UK, right? She's moved to the UK, she lives there now, and since she was not going to be here for much longer, she had like a final like going away like bonfire party, and I was one of the people who was invited. And I remember we were having drinks and whatever, and when we were all tipsy, all of us, we were all in this hot tub, right? It was like all of us. It was actually a pretty like sizable hot tub, all things considered. When you think everyone's in a hot tub, it's like, oh shit, dude, you're all like crammed together. But no, there was actually quite a bit of room. And this girl that I was interested in at the time, she was like, hey, Avert, do this thing. I don't even remember what the thing was. I genuinely do not even remember what it was, because we were all drinking, we were all like a little bit tipsy, you know. I don't think we were like drunk yet. I mean, I never got drunk at that party, but still, you know. But yeah, we were all there, and this girl I was interested in was like, hey, do this thing. I don't even remember. And I think I said as a joke, like, I'll do that if you kiss me. And then she actually agreed to that. She's like, okay. And I was like, oh, damn, okay, I didn't actually think you would agree to that. I said it as a joke, but sure. All right. So then I did the thing. And then we had like literally what is probably like world record fastest kiss of all time. I don't know if it counts. It was fucking like mouth closed, boop. It was like fucking like a woodpecker, dude. It was like a fucking... I'm trying to think of a good analogy. Like literally just you have your mouth closed and you go boop. I don't even know if that even like legally qualifies as like a real kiss. But, you know, hey, I still count it because it's less embarrassing. Anyway, how did I get derailed to this extent? Oh yeah, I was talking... You know, just that's welcome to the Yappathon. That's just how it works. You start with one thing and it just goes to another thing, and I get derailed again. I could get derailed further and continue talking about my friend who was taken in by CPS. But you know, I think that all ended up working back. He ended up going back with his parents there. Or I don't even know, I don't think he lived with both parents, honestly. I think he lived with one parent, his mom, and his mom ended up passing away recently, so like I think he's been pretty much orphaned by this point. I don't know if he like lives by himself or if he lives with someone. I don't know. I really do need to reconnect with a lot of these people, because there's so many like people I have really good memories of hanging out with all of these different people, and I've not spoken to them in like over half a decade by this point, or not extensively at least. Sometimes I remember some of my friends, I was like, hey, how's it been going, because they got Discord. But I want to like hang out with like a bunch of old friends one day, preferably when the weather gets better, because right now it's still really snowy and yucky outside. When it's snowy in Canada, everything is literally just black and white. You have the black trees with no leaves and the white sky and ground. It's just depressing. But yeah. Yeah, so I just went on a huge tangent that most other people, like, you couldn't waterboard that information out of most other people, but whatever. I don't know if there's anything else to discuss regarding personal life. That's the situation. Parents got a divorce. We're unsure what's going to happen with the house. We're unsure what's going to happen, where we're going to move, where I'm going to move. I'm unsure what I'm going to do with my life. And yupper doodles, I guess. And also, someone I knew from high school is now having a child. I don't know if the thing is, I don't know if she's known that she's going to be having a child for a while now. I don't know, like, when she got the news about that. It could have been, like, a couple months ago. It could have been literally right as she posted it on Instagram. I have no idea. But, oh, and also, wait, I just had the thought, last month was Valentine's Day. That makes a lot more sense. God, dude, always like look 9 months before your birthday. You know, have you ever wondered why so many people you know all have like November, December, October birthdays? I mean, it's because of Valentine's Day. God, I was born in the summer. You look back 9 months. What is it, like October, like Halloween party? Okay, I need to end this topic of discussion, man. Yeah, I think that's everything for personal life. Just divulging entirely too much information that most other people, again, you couldn't waterboard it out to them. But yeah, I think all that's left to talk about right now is the absolute state of this planet. There's so much, man. It's just goddamn. In the past 2 years, shit has just gotten so bleak, so fast. Dude. Like, I don't even know where to begin. Like, right now, I mean, I should probably, like, obviously, you would think, like, here's how bad the world is right now. Right now, World War III is happening, and I don't know if I should start with that. That's the current state of the planet, right? Shit is so bad right now that we're in the middle of World War III, and I legitimately am unsure as to whether I should start talking about World War III or if I should talk about something else first. Man. Dude. I talk about like lighters. Before I like get overtly political, I could start talking about like how, again, generative AI is a scourge on the fucking planet from the ground up. I vented about this in my original Yappathon, but it's gotten even worse. More and more jobs are being replaced by AI, and generative AI just as a whole, generative AI in any form is completely poisonous. It is completely harmful. It doesn't matter if it's used like really quickly, if it's used as a joke, it does not matter. Using generative AI in any way, shape, or form is extremely harmful, and I can explain why. Not only is it the fact that like generative AI art, it steals real artwork to like train off of, and then also it replaces jobs. Other than that, the amount of power and the amount of like fresh water for cooling that even like a single chat GPT prompt takes is insane. Like, it takes up entire cities worth of power just to make a few chat GPT prompts. And it's really, which makes it so annoying when people use AI in lieu of search engines, you know? Like, instead of just being able to go to like fucking Google or DuckDuckGo or whatever other like fuck blow, being able to use any search engine, instead they have to go and ask ChatGPT, or on Twitter literally every reply is, "At Grok, is this true? Is this true, Grok? I can't think for myself. I can't Google. I can't even write a paper. I can't write an essay without AI." Someone was mentioning, I saw someone mention there was an assignment that was due, and it was literally like you have to write like 2 pages about something you're interested in. This sounds like the easiest layup of an assignment of all time. Easiest assignment layoff, not layoff, because I guess layoffs do also happen a lot with AI, but the easiest layup of all time. Literally just like you write 2 pages on something. I could do that right now. Like literally right now I could write 2 pages about something I'm interested in. But apparently most of the class used AI for that. And that's just like, you're literally stripping yourself of your humanity at that point. You're stripping yourself of interests in like art. Like things that you're interested in. Like what do you mean you had to use AI for that? Do you not know what you're interested in? Did you have to ask ChatGPT what you're interested in? Are you kidding me? Really? What do you mean that you can't write 2 pages on a topic that you literally get to choose yourself? What? Like you're depriving yourself of the joy of writing, the joy of art at that point. But it doesn't matter. Like I scroll through Instagram Reels and I get disheartened a lot by how many of my friends continue to just like obviously AI slop on Instagram Reels. It's just, come on, dude. There are a lot of points in which it's legitimately hard to tell what's real and what's fake. And yeah, surely only good can come out of people literally AI generating fake footage of someone they know robbing a convenience store. Only good can come out of that. No bad at all. Don't even worry about it. AI is the future. Like seeing these AI companies all go from like being like, oh, AI is great, it'll help you so much in your day-to-day life, to, you know, here's every product going to be featuring AI and you'll love it. And then when people don't love it, they're now like, well, you know, there's nothing you can do about it. We're going to force it into everything. This is the future. I don't give a fuck what you think. We're doing this. That's just going to happen. Like, barely anyone wants all of this. I think AI, it's already done irreparable damage. Irreparable damage. Data centers are poisoning everything. Poisoning the water supply. Poisoning people's brains to the point where I don't think we're ever going to recover from this. The new generation of people who have access to AI for schoolwork, they're not going to be able to think for themselves. Voice crack. Jeez, I'm yapping too much. But yeah, the new generation, Gen Alpha, they're going to be growing up having access to AI for everything. And you know how like a lot of adults were really concerned that school children being able to grow up with Google at their fingertips would eliminate the need for school, right? Because they could just Google everything and cheat. At least with Googling, that still requires that you do your own research, right? It still requires, like, you still have to go and research something. It's just, I think Googling something is no different than looking at like a textbook for history. Like when you have like a history question and you would like have an open book test and you can flip through a textbook. I don't think that's much different from just Googling the answer, you know, because you still have to like do research in that case. With AI, it just fucking, you still are like using it as Google, but then it can also like do the assignment for you. It also can like rewrite it for you. It's like, fuck, dude. Compile that with the fact that it seems as if, like, I feel like in younger generations, it's starting to become like seen as cool to be uneducated, you know? Like, it seems as if we're at a point in which having a lack of intelligence makes you be seen as cool. And that's the exact opposite. Being a stupid dumbass with your IQ on the clock is not cool. Being smart is cool, you know? Actually being able to think for yourself and solve problems, that's what is really cool. Not just like, at Grok, is this true? Like, we see it a lot, especially in like music or whatever. Like, just dumb down your lyrics so that children can like it. It's like, no, you know, when you're writing music, you want to make your lyrics more complicated. That way, if you say a word that the person listening doesn't know, the person listening would then search up what the word means, and oh, look at that, you learned new vocabulary, you know? Like playing, like for me, for instance, like you learn a lot from art. Like playing Ace Attorney, I've learned a lot of new vocabulary words from playing Ace Attorney. I'd see a word and I'd be like, what? I don't know what that word means. Google it. No, look at that, new vocab. You know? That is cool. Having an actual vocabulary is cool. But it seems like just like dumbing down your art makes your art seem more cool. And I think that's just so stupid. You know? And it doesn't help that like we are being ran by the dumbest people on the planet. Dude. It's so bleak. It's so bleak. But on the topic of music, I might as well, this is unrelated to everything, but I am still working on that hip-hop album I said I was working on like last year. I'm still in the writing process. I've been writing a lot. And I've been doing some producing as well for stuff. The next song I'm going to put out is going to be called Circuits. And it's going to be about generative AI. So, I mean, that kind of fits in with the conversation topic. Maybe I'll play like a little snippet of what I have produced for it right here. If I didn't play a snippet in editing, that would be pretty awkward. I mean, I did. I wouldn't have missed that. Maybe I'll be too lazy and I'll just put text on the screen. I'm too lazy. But anyway. Yeah, so that's AI. It's just, man, like Burger King implementing AI to spy, like AI spyware as well is just getting really annoying. AI fucking, like Burger King has like an AI assistant called Patty, which watches over all the employees to make sure that they're saying thank you enough. Make sure that you're happy enough in your work, or else we'll lay you off. Man, dude. Jeez. I think out of all like the dystopian sci-fi like fiction or whatever, I don't think any of them predicted that AI would be like to this extent. Yeah, I hate AI so much. I hate everything that uses generative AI in any form. I don't have any plans to play any games that use AI or like watch any movies that use AI. None of that. I'm sorry. Nope. I'm good. You know, like, for as awkward as the relationship story thing I just told you all about was, it's nowhere near as awkward as a child growing up being in a relationship with like a chat GPT robot, being in a relationship with an AI chatbot. Dude. And like AI being used to like for deep nudes. Like you can take any photo of someone and then like immediately strip their clothing. Like a lot of people on Twitter, there was a whole thing about Grok Mecha Hitler. Just like people would ask, hey, generate this person in a bikini, and then the AI would just do that. And some of this, they were doing it for literal children, right? Like any picture of children they would take and then ask Grok, hey, could you like put her in a bikini? Like, are you serious, dude? That's so vile and disgusting. And the excuse is always, well, she posted the picture publicly. Like, yeah, she posted the picture publicly. She didn't post herself in a bikini, though. Like, she posted it publicly, so I have the right to go ahead and respond by, like, nuding her with AI. Like, no. Alright, no. Like, even doing that by yourself, that's still morally questionable. Even if you don't share the images anywhere, that's still really morally questionable. But it's even more so when, like, you're doing it publicly online. Like, the image is available for all to see. Like, are you serious? As far as I can see it, like, posting a picture isn't a consent to nudify her, right? If a girl posts a picture of herself and she's not in a bikini, odds are she didn't want you seeing her in a bikini. That's just how it works. That's not how consent works. You don't just go, oh, well, she posted a picture of herself in a suit, like, fully clothed publicly, so I have the right to go ahead and take the clothes off. Like, no. Just abhorrent. Man. Another thing that, like, sci-fi fiction didn't predict is how addicted everyone is to gambling now because of how big gambling markets are. Like, gambling markets, they're called prediction markets, so they get around being gambling. They're through all these, like, loopholes and shit. It's just gambling. It's gambling in the same way that loot boxes are still gambling. They're not surprise mechanics. Prediction markets are still gambling. And we get to gamble on all sorts of things. Like, for instance, when the first nuke is going to be dropped in this current war that's going on. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Genuinely, are you serious right now? That is like, what? If that was in a movie, critics would lambast it for being too openly evil. There's no way. On Polymarket, there was a prediction market for when the first nuclear weapon would be detonated in the current war, and that was immediately taken down, like, in a day, which of course it should be. Why would you ever make a prediction market on that? How dystopian. Utterly dystopian, man. Just, you... Like, that also, like, incentivizes insider trading, right? Like friggin' one of these, like, countries, they could get their leaders to, like, insider trade on, okay, we're gonna bet all this money on the fact that we're gonna launch a nuke, and then just launch the nuke, and that just incentivizes them to launch a fucking nuke. That's so stupid. What is this world, man? We're in a time in which people literally can't afford groceries, they can't afford gas, they can't afford nothing, they barely have any money to get by. The job market's in the worst place it's ever been because of everyone being laid off, because of corporate greed and AI. And meanwhile, the only way people can get money is by becoming gambling addicts and on prediction markets where they get to bet on when the first nuclear weapon will be detonated in the current war that they've been dragged into, the war that will also, like, raise the price of groceries and gas tenfold. Like, what is this, man? I had an idea for, like, a dystopian, like, movie or something. It'd be like a sci-fi dystopia in, like, 2077 or whatever, in which the entire world runs off of gambling. Everyone is just chronically addicted to gambling and betting prediction markets. And there's this one, like, guy who goes around committing all of these crimes and, like, travesties so that he could insider trade on it and bet on it. Like, there's a prediction market for when will the next school shooting be, and then the guy just starts the school shooting after betting on the fact that it'll be on this specific date and wins a shit ton of money. And then maybe there'll be, like, an authority or whatever that chases after him, and it's like a cat and mouse sort of, like, Death Note game. It's what is this? The current timeline that we're living in is so dystopian that not even dystopian fiction wrote about this happening. That is the absolute state of this planet. And alright, I guess I should probably talk about World War III now. So, I am using the term World War III, although technically it isn't World War III yet, and I guess it really isn't. I think it'll be World War III the second the United States gets attacked, which I think that's going to happen soon. If I were a betting man, I'd be on a prediction market betting that Israel is going to do a false flag attack on the United States by the end of March. Hey, so editing Avert here. I just want to quickly jump in and say that yes, we do seem to be in the middle of probably the most obvious false flag in the entirety of United States history. Basically, Donald Trump has been saying that the United States has intelligence that suggests they have a reason to suspect that Iran is going to end up bombing California or drone striking California. And this is just like, who actually believes this, right? Like, even let's just go right from the very beginning of the logic. First of all, why would Iran even bomb the US right now? They have no reason to. Almost the entire planet, like almost everyone on the planet is in favor of Iran right now, as opposed to America. Literally, like, barely anyone actually wants this war with Iran. And they have no reason to bomb America because all that's going to do is get people to, like, be against Iran. Why would they want to do that, right? So that's one. And two, I don't even think Iran's like missile capabilities are strong enough to reach the United States from all the way in Iran. I don't even think their drones are like capable enough to make it all the way from like West Asia all the way over to North America. Like, I don't think that their missiles are that capable and that powerful, or their drones are that powerful. But even putting that aside, even if they were, like, we put all logic out the window and we assume that Iran actually is going to bomb the US. Why would they bomb California? Like, that makes zero sense. First of all, it's on the West Coast. That's like probably one of the furthest western like states in all of the US. Why would they target that? Like, I already have lots of doubts of their like artillery or whatever being able to make it all the way to the United States in the first place. But even if it could, it would like barely be touching like Florida, you know? It would not be able to make it all the way to the West Coast. That makes no sense. Also, like, striking California makes no sense, not even just from a logistics perspective, but like also just why would they want to target the West Coast when the East Coast of the US is where like almost all of the actual like military bases or whatever, all the military like infrastructure is. It's all in the East Coast, right? They would have no reason to target California. But then you realize, oh wait, California is a deep blue state. So obviously Trump would want to pick a deep blue state that consistently votes for the Democratic Party as the candidate for like the false flag bombing. It's so stupid, man. So yeah, this is easily like the most telegraphed like false flag in all of history, at least like top 3. Like, they're continuously talking about how, oh, there's going to be, Iran's going to bomb California, they're going to go for California and all this. And then also apparently there's like a military base in the US where there's like 4 different drones that have been stolen and they don't know where they went. And it's just so obvious. I don't think there's a single person on the entire planet that doesn't believe that this is just a false flag by the US. Like, it all just lines up for it, you know? Right now, this war is extremely unpopular. Within America, I think this war started with a lower approval rate than the Iraq war ended. Like, barely anyone in the entirety of the US wants to start a war with Iran for literally no reason. It is extremely obvious to anyone with a functioning frontal lobe that, like, the US is just going to bomb their own state just so that they can pin the blame on Iran, and then they can get like some like people in favor of the war, and they can justify like putting boots on the ground right now, because like they're really trying to get boots on the ground, and like no one wants that because they realize everyone's gonna die, and no one wants that. So the US is just like, okay, we'll just bomb our own state so that way people will start to support us and not Iran, which I don't see happening. Again, like even Jimmy Kimmel, like even United States talk show host celebrities are joking about how Donald Trump is going to do a false flag on America. Like, no one's buying this bullshit. Even the most die-hard Donald Trump fans, his stans, the people who bought the Trump phone and still believe in earnest that they're going to receive it one day, those people, you would have a hard time getting them to explain how this isn't just a false flag. You know, it's just so obvious. So to anyone who lives in California who is watching this, just know that there is a really good chance that your state is going to end up getting bombed or airstriked or droned by your own country in order to manufacture consent for this extremely unpopular war with Iran, where hundreds of your United States soldiers are going to be sent overseas into Iran to die in boots on the ground operations, all for a war that Israel dragged your country into. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about there. Back to the app. I'll be on the prediction markets, don't you worry. Okay, I'm not actually though. I remember I was considering it. I was considering going on a prediction market back when the New York City mayoral race was happening. And I was like, I'm going to bet on Mamdani winning because obviously Mamdani is going to win. And then he ended up winning and I was like, oh, I probably, maybe I should have. I don't know. Just bet my entire life savings and I could like get a couple $100 or something. Whatever. But yeah, I hesitate to call it World War III because of the fact that it's technically not. Although that being said, there are more countries involved in this war that's happening right now than there were in World War II, so... But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, the second the United States ends up getting attacked, that is when it is a World War III, and we can officially call it that. Although I think the most apt name for this war I've seen was on Wikipedia when it was first starting. One of the editors called it the Epstein War of 2026, and I think that's perfectly apt. I think that is perfectly apt. Absolutely is the Epstein War. Now, I'm not saying that it's like the war was started to distract from the Epstein files, because I think that's a pretty naive line of logic, you know? I think that's kind of childish to assume that the United States and Israel started a war for the sole purpose of distracting from the Epstein files. That, like, it's like the war is distracting from the Epstein files, but that's not the point of it, you know? Like, they did delete, like, tens of thousands of different Epstein files during this war. But I still, like, I think it is still really stupid to say that the war was started for the specific purpose of avoiding attention from the Epstein files. Like, no, you don't bomb a country and then have them start a war with you in which they absolutely smoke you and do more damage in the long term than, like, you can handle, all for the purpose of distracting from Epstein files. There's so many other ways you can distract, right? None of that which involve starting a war. But yeah. Current name for the war is, like, I think the Third Gulf War is actually a pretty good name for right now, but I think on Wikipedia it's called the Iran War of 2026, I think. 2026 Iran War, I'm googling it. Wikipedia 2026 Iran War. Okay, that's what it's called. 2026 Iran War. This article documents a current military conflict and may change rapidly. Oh, don't you love living through history? But, yeah. Basically, on the 28th of February, the United States and Israel began coordinated joint attacks on various sites and cities in Iran, starting a major war aimed at a regime change. That is, yeah, that's 100%. That is apt, Wikipedia. Well said. I don't know for sure whether it was the United States or Israel that launched the first attack, but they're pretty much the same country. Like, let's be real here. What you just heard there was Trump suckling on Netanyahu's meat. But yeah, basically, you know how World War I, it started with, like, the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand? I think that was his name, right? World War I start. Notice how I'm not using ChatGPT, I'm just typing shit into Google. Although you still get AI first thing. Get out of here, stupid AI. But, like, yeah, the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Like, that was the start of World War I. And then World War II started, obviously, the invasion of Poland by the Nazis. Meanwhile, this war, the way this war started was that the United States decided to airstrike a school in Iran several times, which ended up murdering 168 schoolgirls. It was an all-girls school. The United States launched 3 different airstrikes. Or was it 3? Was it like 2? How many airstrikes was it? How many airstrikes did the US launch at the Iran school, murdering 168 girls? Okay, I'm not getting a straight answer on that. But anyway, it was several times, several different airstrikes hit a school, an all-girls school in Iran, and it ended up murdering 168 schoolgirls. That is fucked. That is absolutely fucked. And if you support that, unsubscribe from my channel right now. I do not want you here. Alright? I do not want anyone who supports bombing and massacring children watching my videos. Get the fuck out of here. That is so ludicrously evil. That is so unfathomably evil, dude. Oh my god, that was the first thing that happened in this war, by the way. The first thing. That was the first thing that happened. Just goddamn, man. At first, everyone thought that it was Israel that launched the strike, because all Israel can do is continue to bomb children. So it was like perfectly on brand for them. Turns out, nope, it was the United States. They did it. They were the ones who bombed the school. Can you imagine? I know I really hate how, people these days can only empathize with something if you imagine it personally affecting you. But let's do this really quick. Anyone watching this who has children, which I'm guessing probably not many people, if you have, children, imagine if you were to drop them off at your school. You know, they're waving bye to you, all smiling, they're going to school, waddling in, and while you're at work, you end up getting a phone call saying that your child ended up dying because she was massacred and bombed by a foreign country. Imagine if Iran were to bomb 168 schoolgirls in the United States. They would be pulling out the nukes, right? They would be pulling out the nukes and everyone would rightfully be condemning it. But since it was 168 Iranian schoolgirls, not as many people are even willing to talk about it, you know? And that is so unbelievably vile. Just pure evil and malice. But I call this war the Epstein War of 2026 because it's ran by the Epstein class, the cabal of elite pedophiles that run the United States of America. All decided that they wanted to start a war with Iran, so they went and airstriked a school, murdering 168 schoolgirls. Incredible. Jeez, and it's been escalating. I think, if you want to know my position on this, just full disclosure, I do 100% side with Iran in this conflict. 100%. Alright? You want to support the lesser evil? There's your lesser evil right there. Okay? I know every last person, whenever they talk about this, they need to give the obligatory token condemnation of the Iran government. I'm not even going to do that right now, okay? I know, okay, I will. Iran's government still isn't good, but it is infinitely better than that country being literally bombed and flattened, you know? You are not liberating a country by continuing to bomb their civilians. They've since the United States and Israel, which at this point I think is the United States of Israel, has bombed elementary schools in Iran. They go out of their way to target schools. Again, this peak Israeli behavior here, just continuing to flatten schools. I remember, I'm old enough to remember when Israel said that they would never even target a hospital. I remember when they would say that it's anti-Semitic to even mention or even bring up the idea of them bombing a school. And now they've sent a hospital, and now they've since bombed every single hospital in Gaza, and now they're aiming at hospitals and schools in Iran too. Just so sick and twisted, dude. God damn, man. And then the US government, they have the gall to go up there and say that Iran started the war. Pete Hegseth, the piece of shit, was Iran started this war. No, they didn't, you drunk fuck. They didn't start this war. They are defending themselves like you claim Israel has the right to when they genocide children. Alright? when Israel commits a genocide of children, where the death toll, like the upper estimates of the Gaza death toll right now is over 500,000 people. Keep in mind that Gaza in Palestine mostly consists of children. The average lifespan there is around like 18 years old. Okay? Most people who live there are children being massacred by the IDF terrorists. IOF. Like, they call themselves the Israel Defense Forces. They're not defending shit, they're the offense forces. Alright? Just so evil, man. So evil. I have no idea how anyone could support that. God, shouting like that isn't good for my voice box right now. I've been yapping for too long. But genuinely, that's like, geez, dude. The fact that there are actually people who believe that Iran's gonna be liberated because of this. Like, all of these, like, different, like, liberal Western feminists who claim to care so much about women, they'll never say a single word about any of the 168 schoolgirls that were bombed by the United States. Not one word. They'll talk about how Iranian women, they need to wear a hijab, and we're freeing them from wearing hijabs. It's like, yeah, you're freeing them from wearing hijabs because they don't need to wear a hijab when they're fucking bombed to death by you. That's feminism, right, guys? Feminism is when women in Iran don't have to wear hijabs because they are bombed to death. Bravo. Great logic. It's just like, man. People still defending this. Like, that school attack I just mentioned isn't even the extent of it. They also obliterated an entire women's volleyball team consisting of like 40 different women. Again, you'll not hear a word about that from any like Western self-proclaimed feminist ever. You'll never hear them talk about that, and like, utterly abhorrent behavior. At this point, I hope Iran end up flattening Israel to the damn ground like they did with Gaza, which at this point it seems like they're going to do. Like, Iran, they have been extremely pragmatic this entire war, you know? They got attacked, and like they've been planning for this for like 40 years. Like, they've been planning for the US to just attack them again. And, you know, we see Benjamin Netanyahu, he also said that he's been planning for like, what, 47 years for this, and he was yet to find a US president that was stupid enough to agree to attack Iran until Donald Trump came along. That was the first time he found a US president that was dumb enough to go along with this plan. And yeah, so yeah, it's like, it's not a distraction from the Epstein files. Like, that's not the point of the war. The point of the war is so that Israel can expand into the Middle East and West Asia, so that they can make greater Israel. They have admitted that so many times. That's the point, okay? Marco Rubio literally admitted on live TV that Israel dragged them into the war, and then a day later he was like, I never said that. Oh, when did I say that? He asked a reporter, when did I say that? Were you there? And then the reporter responded, yeah, I literally asked you the question. Like, the US government, they lie so much, like, so often. Every day they lie about shit that's so easily disproven. Like, they lie about their own actions, which are on video. And like, if you're willing to lie this much about what is literally on video that we can see, what are they lying about that's off video? That's something to think about. It's just so draining, man. But yeah, as I was saying, Iran, they've been really pragmatic. Instead of just immediately attacking like the US, like the country, which that would start, like, they would immediately nuke you. Instead, what they did was they started bombing Israel, and now I think they've obliterated every last United States military base in the Middle East, or in West Asia rather. Almost, like, I think like literally all of them have been blown up. They targeted like US embassies, and we see a lot of like really stupid people like Jon Stewart They're like, wait, why is Iran just bombing everyone? They think that Iran is just randomly going around bombing like random civilians, you know, like the US and Israel are currently doing in Iran. They just like they keep trying to say like every accusation is a confession. Every time US and Israel accuse Iran of doing something, they did the exact same thing. But yeah. Basically, Iran attacked every last like US military base in West Asia, and that is a good thing. The United States having their military bases in West Asia blown out is good. That is good for the world. That is good because United States imperialism is bad. That is why. Instead of asking yourself, why is Iran targeting all these United States military bases? You should instead be asking yourself, why does the United States have so many military bases in West Asia? Man, my voice box is really starting to go. I've been at this for almost 2.5 hours. But yeah, and Iran, another thing they did, they started off by using their weaker munitions, like the stockpile of like weaker missiles. And now they're just now starting to get into their stronger stuff. And it's at the point in which the US and Israel are like running out of they're running out of munitions. They're like they're going to other countries now trying to get more ammo, and they're running out of ammo right as Iran is like still like barely used up any of their stockpile, and they have like their underground military bases where all their drones are. Like Iran, they literally have America over here bombing like paintings of military helicopters and stuff, like on some Tom and Jerry shit. Like, come bomb this plane. Bomb this plane that's like actually just a painting. Incredible. Just waste one of your missiles on some random painting. Like Looney Tunes. But yeah, so far over 1,000 Iranian civilian casualties have been reported, murdered by the United States and Israel, which are, right now, those two countries are like the biggest obstacle towards world peace. I remember there was like the UN vote as to whether we should make food a human right, and the only two countries that voted against it was the US and Israel. Just deplorable, man. And you know, like, not even joking, but in a lot of aspects, the United States right now in this war are being more evil than the literal Nazis. That's not even a joke. Like, the United States, they ended up sinking an Iran ship that didn't even like have any weapons on it. I don't think, at least. I could be wrong. I don't think they had any weapons on the boat. It was literally like they were invited out for like a, what even was it? It was like a little like event or something. I don't know what I would look up to search it up. It was like a Iran ship struck down by US. It was in the Indian Ocean, and I don't know, they were like invited there for like some sort of event that was happening or whatever between the sailors there, and basically the US was there with the sneak attack to sink their ship using a torpedo. And here's when the war crime comes in. Basically, in war, it is illegal to sink a ship and then not rescue any of the people. Like, literally, you sink a ship and then just leave them to drown. That is a war crime. That is illegal. You're not allowed to do that. And also, that's just fucking inhumane to just let people drown. Jesus, dude. But they did that. They did that. They just, like, torpedoed their ship full of, like, 80 different sailors on there and let them drown and then left. Sri Lanka actually had to come by and save them. And, like, the literal goddamn Nazis didn't even do that. The Nazis were still at least able to, like, rescue the people from ships that they sank. Like, the US are acting more evil right now than the Nazis. You need to, like, keep this in your brain. Like, god damn, man. And, like, the way that people are like, Iran's just attacking every country. Like, okay, first of all, they're attacking every country because they're deliberately targeting military bases. They're not just randomly firing bombs together. like the U.S. and Israel are doing, massacring civilians, different historic sites even, like 100-year-old different art sites and historic buildings, just being bombed. But like the way you can be like, oh, they're just targeting every country. Meanwhile, Israel's over here targeting Lebanon now. How is Lebanon involved in this, dude? What? The only reason Israel wants to attack Lebanon is because they want to expand into Lebanon. Man, I'm just like, I'm thinking about like every post I've seen from people living in Lebanon, like, hey, we're being fired at. IDF terrorists are currently coming over into our houses, and I'm scared. Come pray for us. It's like, Jesus, dude. And of course, the Lebanese army, they're just fucking useless. They are purely useless. They literally just let the Zionists come right in. They let them just, they open the doors for the Zionists to just come directly into their country. And like, what the, like, what is that, man? Like, I know a lot of people, like, they speak out against Hezbollah. You need to understand, without Hezbollah, like the resistance that Lebanon have, Lebanon would have been just part of Israel years ago. There would be no Lebanon. Just like even thinking about this shit, dude. Literally like an army that just does nothing but massacre and rape children to death. Jesus. Oh yeah. On the topic of Jesus, the American military, they've started telling their military members that they're doing this war so that God can come back down to earth and usher in the end times. Man, like they understand that telling their military members, hey, we're fighting this war because Israel dragged us into it, so now you're gonna go and die for Israel, isn't gonna exactly hit hard. So you have to make up some bullshit about like Donald Trump was ordained by God, or ordained. What's the word? It's either ordained or ordained or something. Ordained, yeah. You're ordained by God to go ahead and start this war so that we could usher in the end times. And they have the gall to say that actually the Islamic countries, they're the religious fanatics. They're the ones who are too extreme in their religion, as they're all over here holding Trump's shoulder, praying. Man, just... Yeah, and on the topic of the American military, apparently they're planning on sending like boots on the ground operation in Iran, where they'll literally just send them in via parachute and then have them do ground warfare, which... That's suicide. That's just suicide, man. You are not going to have a ground war in Iran and win. You just aren't. For one, Iran is a pretty big country, and for two, it's almost entirely consisted of just mountains. The topography is almost all mountains, like 80% or so mountains. It's almost all mountains. Just, fuck, dude. You're going to send all of your military members to their death, and if I'm gonna be quite honest, I genuinely don't care. I do not mourn the life of even a single American military soldier who decides that they want to go and murder some innocent civilians for fun. I do not care when they get sent home in the American flag casket. I just don't. I really just don't. Alright, any defense you can make of American military members going overseas to kill people, I could make the exact same defenses for ICE agents or IDF members. I could make the exact same excuses. You know what are the excuses? They were propagandized. Like, this isn't 2003 anymore, right? If you join the American military, you are aware damn well of what you are doing. Okay? You know why you are joining the military. That's not something that you just don't understand. You're not propagandized into it. And even if you are propagandized into it, well then leave the military. Admit that you were propagandized into it. And then other stuff like they're only doing it for benefits, that makes it worse if anything. Killing a bunch of innocent people so you can get benefits is no different from a hitman. You know? Hitmen, they kill people so that they can get benefits, does that make them moral and just? No. Is that an excuse you would use to defend them? No. That isn't. Like, that's so evil. How evil do you have to be to just go ahead and go murder some innocent people overseas for fun? And people, it's also really disgusting how people care more about like the 6 American military members that have died for Israel than they care about the over 1,000 Iranians that have been murdered, the over 1,000 civilians, more than they care about the 168 schoolgirls that were airstruck by the US, more than they care about the 40 volleyball girls that were murdered. More than any of that, they care more about the 6 lives, you know? Like, all of the Iranian lives that were murdered, they're gonna, like, we don't even know their names, right? Meanwhile, when a US service member ends up dying, they get a whole, like, interview with their family on every media outlet. They get, like, an entire, like, life story biography written. It's just the way that, like, people see, it's like people see the lives of people in America as being more valuable than the lives of people in foreign countries, when that's just not true at all. All human life is equal. Doesn't matter what your identity is. Alright? You being more privileged than another person and living in a more privileged country than another person doesn't mean that your life is worth more than that other person. And it is very disheartening to see a lot of the same people who are able to rightfully call out ICE agents in the United States when they murder innocent civilians and innocent United States citizens in cold blood, and they're able to rightfully call them out for that, then go on to make every excuse in the book to justify their military going out overseas, out abroad, and doing infinitely worse to more people and less privileged people in the third world. It's horrific, you know? Like, any excuse you can make for the military, I can make for ICE agents. Like, what? The military, they were propagandized. They thought they were doing it for a good cause. Well, I could say that about the ICE agent that murdered Renee Good. You know, the ICE agent murdered Renee Good in cold blood, and he just thought he was doing good. You know, he thought he was protecting and serving against really vile illegal immigrants. You know, he just thought he was doing a good thing. He was propagandized, you know? Or the other excuse, like, they were just doing it for benefits, you know? You know, like, we can't afford to get college, so we wanted to get free college by going abroad and murdering some people. Alright, I could just say the same thing about ICE. The agent who killed Renee Good and Alex Preddy, well, even though that's 2 different people, they only joined so that they can get benefits. They only joined because they wanted the benefits. Like, yeah, again, joining for benefits, like, that's such a disgusting justification, too. Like, yeah, this guy went abroad so he can go murder some women and children, but he did it to get benefits, you know? You can't get mad at someone for murdering a bunch of people when they benefit from it. That's such stupid logic. Like, again, you would, like, can you justify, you could literally justify hitmen with this logic. That's so dumb. That's so dumb. But, yeah, just in general, like, the lives of some people are treated as being more important than the lives of others when that's not at all how it should be. And also, to conclude it, I hope every last American military member who decides that they want to willingly, like, there's no conscription anymore. Conscription's gone. Every American military member who joins now are willingly joining. Alright, they're willingly joining. They know what they're getting into, and they're getting into it anyway. I hope all of them who decide that they want to go and murder some people in Iran, all of them get sent home in Glad garbage bags. And on the topic of the military, I can tell you, like, for a fact that the American military death toll is infinitely higher than they're saying it is. The US has stated that 6 American military service members have been killed. And, yeah, I'm calling bullshit on that. Alright, if there were a prediction market, I would be betting that at least 1,000 American military service members have been killed. Alright? Again, Iran has bombed every last US military base in all of West Asia. At least I think it's all of them. At least it's most of them so far. Like, there's no way you can tell me there's not a single American military member in any of those bases, and none of them even like got injured. You know, no fatalities there. There's no way you can convince me of that. And like there was an what was it? It was an Indeed application where you could apply on Indeed to retrieve the belongings of different military personnel that ended up dying. And you don't do that when you only have 6 fatalities. You don't do that at all. You do that when you have too many and you need more people to help deal with that. And the reason, I can tell you right now, the reason why they're lying about the numbers is because they understand that the backlash will be ginormous. It'll be monumental wave of backlash when they have to announce that over 1,000 American military personnel lost their lives because Israel dragged them into a war that is overwhelmingly unpopular among American citizens. Like what? There's like a 27, maybe, I think, 27% approval rate. Again, to Google I go. How many Americans support Iran war? No, get out of here, AI overview. Okay, a day ago, New York Times, which take it with a grain of salt, Zionist propaganda rag. Apparently, okay, like a few days ago, 59% of Americans oppose the military action in Iran. Okay, that is actually like, that's still less. Holy shit, almost half of the people in America still support war in Iran. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? Really? Really? There's no way. That's almost half of Americans still support the war. Are you kidding? There's actually no way. 60% of Americans disapproved of the attacks. Okay, that's immediate. Okay, no. This is immediately after the strikes. Okay, no, I need more recent numbers. I need more recent numbers. Okay, University of Maryland from like a little bit ago. Like a day ago. Oh, okay, there we go. This makes more sense. This makes more sense. Alright, so University of Maryland critical issues poll. Our latest poll finds that 21% of Americans favor the United States initiating an attack on Iran. Okay, but then 49 oppose and 30% say they don't know. What are these fucking... These 30% of people who don't know whether they support war in Iran. They're the people who are over here asking ChatGPT how to order off of the menu. What is this? They're the reason why there's wet floor signs, bro. What the fuck? What do you mean you don't know? Yeah, I don't know if I want to start a war. I don't know. A war? I don't know. What do you mean? Anyway, only 21 directly favor it. That leaves you with like 79% of people who like don't support it, or they're just fucking stupid. They don't know shit. They're like, oh, what's war? But yeah, geez, dude. You know, like, fuck, Americans. They're cattle, man. Like, all of these people who are supporting Trump, they supported him because he directly said that he was the anti-war, pro-peace candidate, and you'd have no new wars, they said. And now that he's starting a war, all of a sudden they all just support it now that he does. I swear to God, like, I swear, Donald Trump could literally, like fucking transition tomorrow. He could transition tomorrow, and he'd be like, okay, I'm a girl now, I'm a girl. And then all of his supporters would then immediately transition right after. Like, I swear to God, dude. Like, whatever he says goes. He's like, I don't like war, war is bad. And then everyone's like, oh yeah, we don't want war, yeah, he's the anti-war peace president. And then he starts a war, and they're like, yeah, we actually do like war now, woo! Just like, come on, like, all you have in your skull, you don't have a brain in your skull, you have a parrot that regurgitates whatever Trump tells you to think, and you just keep repeating it. Verbatim, ad nauseum, just over and over and over again. Actually just cattle. Like, I swear, all of these people who claim now that they're against the Iraq war, they all would have supported it back when it happened, 100%. All these people were like, I'm against the Iraq war. You probably supported it when it happened. Like, it's literally happening again. This is literally just the Iraq war too. Alright? Like, it's the exact same thing. Right now, the justification the US is using for attacking Iran is the fact that they're about to make weapons of mass destruction. Yeah, does that sound familiar? Like, for one, no, Iran isn't on their way to make a weapon of mass destruction. Benjamin Netanyahu has been trying to say that Iran is going to be making weapons of mass destruction in like a few weeks for like the last 20 plus years. He's just been constantly saying like Iran is like a couple days away from a nuclear weapon, or a couple weeks away from a nuclear weapon, a couple months away from a nuclear weapon. This is just over. It just keeps on being like, oh, they're this far away from a weapon. No, they're this far. They're this far. Like, no, they're not on their way to make a nuclear weapon at all. And again, even if they were on their way to make a nuclear weapon, why should they not be allowed to have a nuclear weapon, right? Like, can someone tell me that? Like, the United States gets to have nuclear weapons, and they're the only country that actually uses them, and also they're ran by a cabal of elite pedophiles. Like, what do you mean that they're allowed to have the nukes? Israel's allowed to have like 40 nukes, but Iran's not allowed to have any? If anything, Iran should be the country with the nukes because they're the ones that are consistently being attacked. There's a reason why so many countries have nukes. It's so that the other countries know that they shouldn't fuck with them. Like, look at North Korea, right? North Korea, they've never been attacked like in a long time. Why? Because they have nukes, and every country is aware that they have nukes. That's why they do these like military parades. So every country is aware, like, oh, they have nukes. Just, like, I can believe that there are like some people who are stupid enough to believe that regime change in Iran will actually be a good thing for the citizens. Just like how I can believe that there are some people who are propagandized enough to believe that the Venezuela war, or it wasn't even a war, that was like a knockout. Alright. But the Venezuela kidnapping of Maduro was, which I mean, civilians did end up dying in that too, just nowhere near as many. But like, I can believe that some people do legitimately believe that that was legitimately good for Venezuelans. Like, but like, come on, man. How stupid do you have to be to legitimately think that bombing a country's schools and elementary schools and hospitals and murdering over 1,000 of their civilians and like fucking murdering their leader and also murdering 168 schoolgirls, an entire women's volleyball team of 40 girls, and like flattening their country, how do you think any of that will liberate the population? Like, how much stupid juice do you have to chug back? Like, how much stupid juice does it take for someone to drink to think that like that's actually how that works? And also, the people in Iran right now, they are extremely against the United States for this. They're literally out on the streets en masse. Like, literally almost all of them, they're all protesting on the streets, shouting death to America and death to Israel. Like, no, they're not happy that this is happening. They're not happy that their leader has been martyred. Like, you need to understand. Like, they take that martyrdom shit really seriously, right? For those who don't know, martyrdom is when your leader or like someone important ends up getting murdered, right? They are now a martyr, right? They're an important person and they didn't die of natural causes. They were murdered. They're now a martyr. They take that shit really seriously, okay? They're over here literally shouting like death to America, death to Israel. Like, no, they're not happy that you're over here bombing their country. The only Iranians here that are actually supporting this are ones that don't even live in Iran. The Iranian diaspora, which I'm going to be honest, genuinely somehow more annoying than like Miami Venezuelans who are supporting the kidnapping of Maduro. Like, genuinely even more annoying somehow. I don't know how fucking evil you have to be to like be able to leave Iran, live in like a Western country like America, which is currently bombing them, and then just go and celebrate the fact that they're being bombed and then pretend that you're actually the moral one because you're supporting the bombing. How depraved do you have to be for that? Actually. Like, we're fucking... And then act like everyone else, they're actually the evil ones for being against it. You know? No, you should be happy that the United States ended up murdering 168 schoolgirls. You should be happy that America is bombing their hospitals and schools. Sorry, Israel's doing that. Israel's bombing their schools and hospitals, because all Israel can do is fucking bomb schools and hospitals. And children. But now, Israel has to fight a war that's against actual adults and not just children, and they're being obliterated, and I could not be happier. Just genuinely evil terrorist country. Almost everyone in Israel all support the genocide in Gaza, and the ones that don't are probably just ones that literally just say that they don't. Like, that's like over 90% of Israelis support the genocide in Gaza, and that's just the ones that are willing to admit that. Like, they continue to laugh and like taunt and make fun of the different children that they murder and rape, and then after they start getting a fraction of a decimal percent of the pain and torment that they've inflicted upon Palestinians, then they start crying as if they're the victims. Oh, where we are reaping what we sow. Oh no. Like, as if we're supposed to feel bad for you. No, I don't feel bad for you. Literally just a few months ago, you were actively applauding the massacre of Palestinians. Again, over 500,000, over 500,000 Palestinians murdered at the hands of Israel. And they're over here gonna try to get in sympathy from us when they get a taste of their own medicine? No, that's not going to happen. That isn't going to happen. It's just like fucking... I don't know. I need to know what is going through the brain of someone who legitimately is like supports the US and Israel in this situation. I need to know, right? Either way, I can guarantee you all of these Americans who claim to support this war right now, they're not going to support it so much when they see how high their gas prices get as a result of all this. You know, because Americans, again, most Americans literally only care about issues when it directly affects them. They don't care about all of the children their country is bombing. What they really care about is when bombing all these children makes the gas prices go up. You know, like the Iraq war, you don't care about all of the Iraqis, you don't care about all the Afghans that you guys murdered. What you really care about is all the US deaths, the military deaths. That's what people really care about. Just like, it makes me sick to my stomach that humanity is at this point, that the world is at this point. This is the world we live in now. This is the state of business. This is how things are. All right. Israel will massacre over 500,000 people, mostly consisting of women and children, and then they'll force the United States to go ahead and start bombing Iran, also murdering a bunch of children and civilians. And then you're supposed to gain sympathy for them. You're supposed to sympathize with them. It's like if during World War II, you were taught that the Nazis were the good guys, and that you should actually be against the people that fought the Nazis because the Nazis were righteous. No, they weren't, you stupid piece of shit. The Nazis were complete, utter evil scum. And same are the Zionists. Like, just a quick reminder of things, because I know a lot of people have like memory hold this or forgotten about it. Just a reminder that Israelis, they literally had right to rape protests where they would all come together and protest the fact that they weren't allowed to rape Palestinian prisoners. Like, Israel would constantly tell Palestinians, alright, go to this exact spot on the map right over here, and evacuate over there, and then they would proceed to bomb the area they told them to all go to. It's just like that, like it's unfathomable. I can't even speak, it's so evil, dude. It's that evil. Like, man, I don't have any respect for anyone who supports this, which is far too many people. Every other day I find out a new celebrity or someone else that I like the work of, or I look up to, whatever, is a Zionist, and it just makes me go, fuck, like, that was a good person, you know? Or not a good person, but like, I like their work. They made like good stuff. like a month or so ago, one of my aunts on my dad's side ended up passing away, and I never really spoke to her a whole lot. Again, I mentioned earlier, my parents like ostracized most people from the family because of the fact that they supported COVID vaccines or whatever bullshit. But I haven't seen my aunt in like over half a decade, but I have nothing but good memories with her. And apparently I find out, like at her funeral, I'm watching it live, I find out apparently she was a raging Zionist. Like, absolutely. She took several trips to Israel, several like birthright, because if you're Jewish, you can get like literally like free trips to Israel. And she took several birthright trips, and like, I think it's safe to say, once I found that out, I just entirely stopped mourning her, like in all ways, shapes, and forms. I genuinely, no respect for Zionists, no respect for Nazis, no respect for America and its government, no respect for any of it. There's a Greta Thunberg quote that like really, really sticks with me. Greta Thunberg, the climate activist who is a really like a liberal media darling, when she was just talking about how we need to stop climate change just as a kid, and she was on all the media outlets. But then she got older and she started connecting climate change to capitalism, and she started speaking out against Israel, and that's when the media dropped her like a hot potato. And she ended up making a quote, and I think it's like an all-timer. Like, when she dies, this should be like probably like one, like at least top 3 quotes that she's remembered by. And the quote is, "I'm not afraid of Israel. I'm afraid of a world that seems to have lost all of its humanity." I want to make sure that that's the exact quote. Greta Thunberg humanity quote. Here. "I'm not scared of Israel. I'm scared of a world that has seemingly lost all sense of humanity." Literally this. Literally this. Alright? Although you can replace Israel with like so many other things, I'm not afraid of insert thing here. I'm afraid of a world that has lost all sense of humanity. I'm not afraid of the United States. Not afraid of any of this other shit. Afraid of the fact that the whole world is just perfectly okay with all of this happening, Americans will never do anything to stop their government from doing this. It's sad. I hate it all. I hate it all so much. The fact that like the 3 pillars of like, or I guess like, no, like 3 pillars of family life, personal life, and the world all are in a really terrible place right now. And this is just mentioning stuff that happened in the last week. This war started less than a week ago. Right? I could talk about so much other shit, but that would drag us. Like, if I were to talk about every bad thing that's happened over the last year or two, I would be here for like longer than like YouTube's upload limit is. I'd have to contact that one guy who had a YouTube channel, Shiny WR, have to contact them and see if they could help me make a video long enough to fit everything I'm saying here. Jeez, dude. Like 168 schoolgirls. That needs to be burned into your brain. America murdered 168 schoolgirls in one day. Just with an airstrike. Just like 2 airstrikes or whatever. Gone. And they'll still pretend that they are the ones who are righteous in this situation. They'll still pretend that they're the good guys in the situation. Odds are history books will end up saying that they were liberated in school in like 20 years. They'll be taught about how America liberated Iran from women having to wear hijabs. They didn't have to wear them anymore because they all got bombed to death by the US and Israel. And that we need to all remember and bow down to all of the honorable veterans who decided to go out overseas to kill people, who really got off on murdering innocent civilians, who ended up getting murdered instead. And I'm like, Like, geez, like I'm expected to find out what I'm doing with my life to prepare for the future. What future? Right? What future? What do you mean, the future? Like, there's not going to be a future, alright? You know what the best part? The best part of this whole war is the fact that even if eventually the world ends up getting world peace, right? Which, I mean, hey, you know what? For all it's worth, I mean, in a roundabout way, Trump is kind of bringing peace to the Middle East in like a roundabout way, because Israel's getting bombed. Bahrain might have a regime change at some point. Like, Iran's not going to have one, but Bahrain, like, the Bahrain government is really like pro-Zionist, pro-America, and the people there aren't, and they're currently in the middle of trying to overthrow their government. Of course, Saudi Arabia is sending people in to stop, but the only way to get from Saudi Arabia to Bahrain is like this one bridge, and then Iran started bombing the bridge. So I mean, regime change in Bahrain might be a thing we end up seeing. And like, all of the United States military presence in West Asia is being eradicated. Like, even no matter how this war ends, I can tell you for a fact the United States will not be the power it once was from this point forward. Countries right now like the UAE, United Arab Emirates, are already distancing themselves from the US now because of their actions. Like, they're not going to be able to rebuild those military bases. The countries are not going to let them do that anymore. And also, those military bases were built with like rare earth that they just don't have access to anymore. And like, yeah, America's power in this region is going to be evaporated by the time the war is over. Other countries are just going to stop trusting the US as much. I mean, like, almost every European country just sucks the US's dick, except Spain. Spain has the spine, which, I mean, I guess Spain works out. Only European country to actually be able to tell Trump no. Also, just a reminder that the Democratic Party is not any better. They really aren't. They're complicit in literally everything the US is doing right now. Alright. The Democratic Party literally just like a couple days ago, or like a week ago, they were over here. Their main concern with the war, because they still support war in Iran, right? They still support Iran being flattened and having regime change at the hands of the US. But they're against the fact that it was done illegally. That's the issue they have. The fact that it was an illegal war, that Congress hadn't approved the war. So what's the Democratic Party's response to that? Well, they voted in Congress to make it legal. Incredible. What an opposition party you Americans have. Just such good opposition to fascism here. Just really good. Just come on, man. Seriously? Like, isn't it funny though how like the Republicans, they just consistently get just enough votes from the Democrats to get their bills through. It just happens literally every time. Sometimes even by like a single vote, they get their shit through. Like, isn't that just, it's so interesting, right? Like, all of these Democrats were over here applauding. They were all clapping when Donald Trump said that there might be a war with Iran. Like they were all applauding it. And now they're over here like pretending, whoa, we're against this. Whoa, war with Iran? What? Like, Elizabeth Warren put out a video saying like, all right, I didn't think it would be this bad. Now that they because you see, the Democrats, they're just as evil as the Republicans. However, they're smarter. They're smarter than the Republicans. So they still support bombing Iran and all this. However, they know damn well that sending boots on the ground is going to lead to a lot of American casualties. It just is. Alright, you do not go boots on the ground in a big country with a really strong army or a strong military, and then, like, that's almost entirely mountains and you survive. That doesn't happen. So Elizabeth Warren is more in favor with Iran when it comes to aerial striking, but the second that Americans might die, she's over here like, whoa, we gotta stop this war on Iran business. It's just so blatant. Even the most anti-war of Democrats will still find a way to manufacture consent for the war by spending more time talking about how bad Iran is than how bad war with Iran is. Like, genuinely, it's just so evil. Like, they spend all of their time talking about how bad of a regime Iran has. Like, the regime of Iran is so bad and so terrible. But I'm not going to speak out much about the fact that we're going over there to change it. I'm just going to keep saying it's bad. I'm just going to keep spreading the same rhetoric as the people who are doing the war and then pretend I'm anti-war. Like, that's not how it works. You don't get to sit here and pretend you're against the war happening when you are spreading all the same rhetoric that the people committing the war are using to justify it, right? Like, no. This is why when the Iran protests were happening, like, I did stand with the protesters in Iran, but at the same time, I was like, there is no world in which this goes well either way, you know? Like, all speaking out, saying free Iran, all doing that is going to do is lead to war, and sure enough, that's led to war, right? It's led to war because the people who were saying free Iran, who said that they were anti-war, was just spreading the rhetoric that is being used to justify the current war. It's just, like, it's really sad, and I know there's a lot of well-intentioned people that aren't bad people in the slightest. They do fall into this trap as well, you know? Like, maybe you have your heart in the right place, but your mind isn't. Like that. But, you know, Democratic Party, they don't have their hearts in the right place. They are more than willing to side with the fascists every time, you know? They only change their rhetoric when it's beneficial. Like, Gavin Newsom is a very avid Zionist. Even he is now doing a 180 on Israel. He said Israel is an apartheid state after literally, like, saying how much he loves them, like, for the past, like, months, years. You know, literally, he was just saying there's no genocide in Gaza on, like, a podcast, like, a week ago. And now he's saying that Israel's an apartheid state, which, I mean, hey, that's good because that tells you that public opinion of Israel right now is so low that even, like, standard stock Zionist politicians are still being advised to have more negative Israel rhetoric. That's how low the opinion of the genocidal baby killers are right now. And, that is a good thing. However, just don't buy it. All right, don't continue buying these politicians. You know, like back like when the 2024 elections were happening, I remember being really mad at people saying that there should be a third party in the U.S. I was really mad. I'm like, you're not going to win. You're not going to win. What are you doing? Just vote with the Democrats. They're the lesser evil. Now I see how foolish that logic is, and I know a lot of people still have that logic. Like, well, they're the lesser evil. For one, at this point, I'm not even convinced they are the lesser evil. I'm just convinced that they have better PR. Like, God, the genocide happened under Kamala Harris. But, like, at this point, just, like, I think America, they do absolutely need a third party. I don't care how unlikely it is, how unreasonable of a request it is. Americans need to come together and form a third party that isn't pro-war, that isn't, like, on the side of just going and attacking other countries for profit, a country that's anti-military. They want to, like, well, Americans should want to come together and form an actual third party that isn't, like, filled with people in the Epstein files, like Bill Clinton, or all these other pieces of shit. Bill Gates, the two Bills, Trump, all these other, like, billionaire pieces of shit. The billionaires who literally can't even fund cancer research to make themselves look good. Like, what was the guy, Barbacid or whatever his name was? And where was it? Oh, okay, hold on. It was, like, Spain, I think? Barbacid. Mariano Barbacid, Spanish biochemist. Where is he? Spain. In Spain, he managed to eliminate pancreatic cancer in mice, and he needed like $30 million or so to start human trials. Now, not a single billionaire on the planet, not one, not a billionaire on God's green earth was even able to donate like less than a fraction of a decimal percent of their wealth to like even look good by funding the cancer research. That's how evil the people who are like the richest, like the wealthy are. The wealthy are so fucking evil, they can't even spare like what to us is pennies, like chump change, on making themselves look good to help cure cancer. What the fuck? Like, I don't know about you, but personally, if I were a billionaire, I would be throwing money at cancer research to make myself look good any day, but these billionaires can't even do that. They're too busy throwing money to like stop the Epstein files from getting out. They're too busy throwing money to make more money. They're too busy funding AI that's poisoning our planet. The only way the cancer got funded today, apparently, and it got funded, why? Because people came together to raise enough money. That is fucking stupid. That is ludicrous. That we're at a point which all of the billionaires were supposed to be, they got there because of how good and how smart and how big of a heart they have. Couldn't even throw some pennies over to go cure cancer. Fuck you. Pure evil. Alright, in America, you should be fighting for a third party. You should be fighting for it, alright? I was very stupid making fun of like Jill Stein supporters. I'm still not a huge fan of Jill Stein, but she at least has the right idea, right? She at least has the right idea that America does need a third party because both parties are corrupt. Both parties are evil, alright? Neither party was releasing the Epstein files because both parties are implicated in them. And instead of just continuously voting for the lesser evil, hoping that the lesser evil will be even lesser each following year when it won't. You're just voting for evil every year, alright? Here's the thing. The main criticism I see of this is that, well, if you run a third party, you're not going to win. Here's where I stand on that. For one, this isn't about winning, alright? I don't think, is it really truly winning if you have to throw away all of your morals and all of your principles to get there? I don't think that's winning. It's not winning to just get a politician into power, you know? If all you care about is voting for a politician and then that politician you voted for gets into power, then just vote for Donald Trump. He wins a lot, you know? But like that's not like the smart thing to do here, right? I don't know if anyone here wants to just vote for Trump. I certainly don't. I mean, I'm not even American, but like I'm telling you guys what to do here. But basically, you should make a third party because winning is not throwing your morals away. That's not winning, okay? Winning is when you implement the policies you support, and that'll take time. It'll take time in America for that to happen. All right, it's not going to happen overnight. It's probably not even going to happen by next election, although this would be the time to do it. Public opinion on both the Democrats and Republicans is at the all-time lowest it's like ever been right now. All right, even like during Bush's administration, people weren't as against that war here. This war started with less people supporting it than the amount of people who supported the Iraq war while it was happening, okay? That's how little there is of support for this. Even like far-right people, like actual neo-Nazis like Nicolas Fuentes is over here able to like, he's able to be like, I'm voting for the Democrats now because of how little how the Republicans are going against everything they said, you know? Trump was like, I'm anti-war, I'll release the Epstein files, prices will go down. The exact opposite of all of those things happen, and yet people still cultishly support him. Right? And this is a huge ramble, a huge rant, but like, I do think America, they should start a third party. Get the people to rise up, create an actual, like, left-wing party. One that isn't just going to fight pointless battles for the sake of Israel. One that actually cares about its people. That's what needs to happen. I think most people, if I remove the word left-wing from it, most people will agree with that, right? That the government should care more about its people than fighting foreign wars that don't do shit but get a lot of people killed. Both people in the third world and also American military veterans all get killed. And for what? So that gas prices can like quintuple? So that America can lose all of their military bases? Like genuinely, starting this war is the single dumbest thing any United States president has ever done. Bush is over here like fucking, he's like, whew, he's wiping off his head here like, Jesus, he's no longer the dumbest war criminal president out of all of them. He's like, whew, the title's been stripped. Whew. Just like, I don't know, like if you try to run a third party, it's not going to get into power immediately, but you'll raise awareness, all right? You'll build your campaign, you'll build your party, you'll build it up, you'll grow it organically, grassroots campaign. More and more people will be like, yeah, you know what? I'm tired of the Democrats and Republicans working together to go murder babies. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go support you guys, all right? And then eventually, it may take a few elections, but you will eventually get there, and that is winning. That is winning. Alright? Not throwing away all your morals and principles so that you can get a hollow shell of the politician you once supported in power. Not like casting aside everything you claim to believe in. That's not winning. That is not winning at all. Winning is getting policies implemented that actually do good. That is winning. And that is what you should be striving for. That's what we should be striving for, alright? Up in Canada, we're not doing much better. Our liberal, spineless coward of a leader, Mark Carney, started off the war by saying that, you know what? I support the war, you know? We Canadians, we support the United States and Israel fighting against Iran. And then like a couple days later, he realized just how unpopular that position was. He realized how many people were like coming at his throat for that, going up his ass about that, rightfully so. And then he then came back and he was like, okay, actually we no longer, we don't support the US and Israel against Iran. But we still might deploy Canadian military members against them. Like what? What is that? What is this incoherent babbling right now? What do you mean? Are you pro-war or not? There is no two ways. There is no, I oppose this war, but I still support sending people to die for this war, you know? Keep in mind, Mark Carney, this is the same guy that just like a couple weeks ago was up there on the Davos stage. He was over there giving a speech about how American hegemony is ending and that this is actually good. Here he is now like, no, bring back American hegemony. We need that actually. No. We're actually very pro-America when it comes to bombing third worlders. It's utterly pathetic. Alright, I probably yapped on too long about this. I know, very heavy subject matter, but I really just needed to get all that off my chest. I don't usually get political on this channel, but, you know, this is the ending of some random Yappathon. These videos don't really perform that well anyway. I mean, there's only one Yappathon that I actually titled a Yappathon, and that didn't really do that well, but I don't need these to do well. I'm not doing these Yappathons for views. I'm doing them because I need to. It's for my soul, okay? I need to vent to someone. I have, like, no one in my life I can vent to about this, so I'm just gonna vent on the internet and hope it works, okay? I know a lot of people are gonna be furious about what I said here, but you know what? I don't care, alright? I'm not going to say something I don't believe in so that I can get more followers or so I cannot lose subscribers or whatever. Alright, if you were to argue with me on any of this, I would argue on behalf of everything I said here, which I do stand to and I do believe in. Alright, and I don't care. I'm not grifting. I'm not going to grift. I'm not going to start saying bullshit I don't mean because that's the more popular position or anything. I'll hold true to what I believe in. And that's that. To summarize it all up, I hope that Iran flattens Israel. I hope every last American military member who goes to Iran to go murder civilians comes back home in a glad garbage bag. And I'm praying out, I'm not praying, I'm not religious, but I'm holding out hope that the Lebanese people end up surviving Israel's siege of Lebanon. I am hoping that Palestine will one day be free and the citizens there don't need to worry about being massacred and raped to death and bombed. I'm hoping that America loses a lot of its influence worldwide because of this. That the people who are doing bad actually get repercussions and consequences for doing bad instead of just like getting away with everything. Everyone in the Epstein files who were complicit in raping children deserve to burn publicly. And yeah, that's my thoughts on this. Alright, prediction. I predict that probably before I even get this video up in time, Israel is going to launch a false flag at the United States to try to get American people, or against Iran, because they're going to say that, oh, Iran bombed the US to get the American population against Iran, because overwhelmingly Americans do not support this war. They realize that, hey, why the fuck are we fighting a war against Iran that does nothing but kill our people, kill their people, and then raise gas prices tenfold? So Israel's already launched several false flags at different places. Like they bombed Saudi Arabia, like the oil refinery there, that was them. and then they tried to pin it on Iran. Because the thing is, Iran has been really like open. They've been like transparent, more transparent than the most transparent administration in U.S. history, apparently, about the fact every time they target somewhere. When they target somewhere, they say we did that, and when they don't, they say we didn't do that. And they've denied every last false flag attempt by Israel. Other countries, like in Europe, I'm pretty sure, like UK, were like, hey, yeah, no, this bomb didn't come from, or one of the countries or whatever, were like, this bomb didn't come from the direction of Iran, it came from the direction of Israel. And yeah, a lot of countries are turning against the US. Overall, I do have hope that this war will lead to a good conclusion after all of the carnage and massacre that happens to get there, alright? We cannot let those 168 Iranian schoolgirls die in vain. We can't do that, alright? I've been at this for way too long now. But yeah, that's my thoughts. And also, in terms of if I were betting on the prediction market as to when the first nuke is going to be dropped, I would say by the end of March. And also predicting the first nuke would be dropped by Israel on Iran. There's my prediction market for you. You can quote it. I don't know when this video is going to get up. I don't know. I'm going to be lazy with the editing. But yeah, that's all my thoughts on the Epstein War of 2026. I mean, sorry, no, the Iran War 2026, which is what it's currently called. Which, I don't know, I think Third Gulf War is probably more apt, but whatever. Yeah. So I'm going to leave this Yappathon off on a note here. To anyone who currently feels depressed and they don't feel like continuing because they don't have motivation, I feel you. 100% I understand. I feel the exact same way. And what I would say to you is I wouldn't try to console you. I'm not going to try to console you and baby you and promise you, give you false assurances that everything's going to be alright. Because it isn't. Nothing's going to be alright. We're all going to die, right? The thing is, the best part is, after all this war and everything ends, we're still going to end up dying from global warming in like 40 years. So, you know, just be prepared for that. Even if every single country takes the most radical action they can against climate change, it is still going to consume us whole. Like, we are past the point of no return for that. So, just keep that in mind, right? I'm not going to try to console you. I'm not going to say everything's going to be alright when it isn't. What I would tell you is that, especially, well, I'd tell different people different things. If you're in like a third world country and you don't even have internet access right now and you can't see this video, I'm still holding out hope for everyone in Lebanon. Jesus, man. Them getting like bombed as much as they have been. All the innocent lives that have been lost because of this. Just fucking holding out hope that enough innocent people survive. But what I would tell you, here's what I'll tell you. I'm going to tell you that I'm not to be optimistic, be realistic, right? Don't get hopes up that it's going to be better, accept the fact that it won't. And, you know, honestly, at this point, we could kind of just live life without any stakes, you know? There's something that's sort of like calming about the fact that the world is going to end eventually because of global warming. Like, the fact that everyone's going to die at the same time at some point. At some point, the world will end, and it will no longer be habitable. And if that happens within our lifetimes, then that means that we're not going to have to worry about missing out on anything past when we die, you know? Like, when we die, we're not going to have to worry that we're going to miss out on stuff in the future, right? Like, if you died right now, oh no, you're not going to be able to play GTA 6. Oh no, right? But if we all die at the same time, then we don't have to worry about anything in the future past that happening that we missed out on, you know? And one thing I do want to say, if you live in a first world country and you feel like you don't know what to do and you feel like everything is bad and you feel like ending it all, or you feel like you can't move forward, what I would tell you is I wouldn't console you. I would tell you that just by virtue of you living in a first world country, you are infinitely more privileged than most of the other people on this planet, right? Anyone, like, even if you could be the most marginalized person in all of the US, right? You could be like extremely marginalized, right? But the thing is, even the most marginalized person in the US is still more fortunate and in a better position and more privileged than the most fortunate person in a third world country. Like, say, like a black transgender woman in the United States is still more privileged by virtue of being in a first world country than like a straight man from Yemen, because you don't have to worry about your house being bombed. Like, there are people in the world right now who live every day in fear of not having a house tomorrow or a family because it all got bombed and it's all gone. There are people who have to worry about that every day. And in a first world country, the biggest issue you have to worry about is like you being discriminated against or you losing out on opportunities because of your identity, which, hey, that's still really fucked up, right? Racism is still fucked up. Transphobia, sexism, any other like bigotry is still fucked up. But just by virtue of living in the United States or Canada, like me, like, hey, like I have no idea what I'm doing with my life, and I'm to the point where I hate that feeling so much, to the where I'm literally venting. I vented for over like almost 3.5 hours at this point about this. It'll be probably shorter by the time I actually edit this all down and cut all the dead space out, but right now it says, like, Audacity is saying I'm recording for almost 3.5 hours. I have no idea what I'm doing with my life, and that is really, that's really getting to me, and that really sucks. However, what's keeping me going is knowing the fact that there are people out there who are infinitely less fortunate than I will ever be in my entire life. Being homeless will still be, in this country, in Canada, will still be more fortunate than what they have to go through. The fact that those people, they're still willing to fight. They're still willing to keep going. They're not ending it all. They are persevering through it. No matter how bad things get, they are continuing to punch through all the bullshit to make it to the end. And I think that's the energy that we need right now. I think that's the morale, that's the mentality that we need to have right now. That's the mentality. I don't want to sound like your mom here, like, well, you need to eat your dinner because kids in Africa could have eaten that. I don't want to say that because that's childish. But it is very true that you, by virtue of living in a more fortunate, more privileged country, no matter how bad you are doing, you are still doing a lot better than other people around the world who are more willing to fight and continue persevering than you currently are. That's what I would say to you. If you're telling me, hey, Avert, which, I mean, I'm not a therapist, I'd say, okay, if you're like, hey, Avert, I'm very depressed and I'm contemplating suicide, first I'd say, go to a therapist. But then after that, I would tell you, there are people who are in much worse of a position than you will ever be, and they are finding the courage, they are finding the bravery, and they are finding the strength to persevere through it. And you are more than capable of doing the same. By the way, this water bottle, I've refilled it like numerous times. I'm going to be pissing into submission by the time we're done with all this, man. Oh, my throat. No more water is going to save my throat. I've been talking for way too long. I have not yapped this much in a day in like months. And yeah, I'm going to leave it there. I think I've covered anything. Is there anything else I can cover? There is more I can cover, but do I want to cover anything else? Anything else that I need to cover, rather? I don't know. I need more water. Like, yeah, just the fact that I'm able to, like, refill this water instantly. When I run out of water, I can just go to my fridge, grab water, and drink it, Like, a lot of people don't have that privilege. That, like, it shouldn't be a privilege. You shouldn't be a privilege to have access to clean drinking water. That should be a right that every human being on the planet has. And I think everyone across the political spectrum agrees with that. But, like, a lot of people don't have the ability to go get water. Like, they don't have access to clean drinking water. And just the fact that I have this puts me in a better position than most people And those people are more willing to fight than I currently am, and I should be more willing to fight, right? Never kill yourself. Don't do it. Never. Never worth it. Alright? As far as I'm concerned, if you want to take your life, and you already believe your life is forfeit, then, like, at that point, you have nothing to lose, really, right? And if you have nothing to lose, just go do what you want, man. Go do what you're interested in. You already feel like your life is forfeit and that you could just throw it away at any second. Well, then, don't throw it away. Throw it at something you want to do. Throw it at something good. Make a difference. Alright, that's it. Those were that's the Yappathon. The Yap mad ramblings of a 20-year-old idiot from Canada. What he has to say about the current state of his life, of like his channel and the world. I'm gonna probably put timestamps in the description on this one because yeah, I know a lot of people are probably just gonna want to skip past all the talk about war and whatever, because yeah, war is scary. I know. So war is bad. Breaking news: AvertAT on YouTube says war is bad, and yeah, that's just. It's hard to end these Yappathons, man, you know, because, like, I know a lot of people who aren't YouTubers, I need to tell you, it may seem awkward when you're just yapping into a computer, but there is that feeling you get where you just don't want to stop. At least I get that, right? Where I spent, like, 3.5 hours yapping to my computer screen. I can't just say goodbye already. We had, like, a whole story time, whole adventure we just went on here. But, yeah, I think every year from now on, I'm going to want to start off the channel with the Yappathon. I think that's a good way to get into the flow of things. Just update everyone on what the current state of the channel is, what the plans are, what my thoughts on everything is. And, yeah, it is just hard to say goodbye, so I'm just stalling. Alright, you made it. If you really, like, made it all the way to the very end, first things first, I need to come up with a comment for you to type. If you made it, I can't come up with a word. If you made it this far, comment, and it needs to have specifically 6 H's. Alright, it needs to be capital U, 6 lowercase h's in the comments if you made it this far. That's what you need to comment. Alright, but also if you made it this far, like, you're probably willing to listen to me yap about literally anything. Right, these videos are for the super fans, the people who are more than willing to hear me yap about whatever. I could be talking about how the paint that's drying looks, and you would still be watching. But yeah, wholeheartedly, thank you everyone for supporting the channel. This year is not going to have as many videos as last year. I have a lot of stuff happening in life. I have no idea what's even going to happen. Like, there's not even a guarantee I'll be able to make videos in the rest of the year, you know? Like, anything can happen at any time. And things are just getting worse by the second, but yeah. I have now officially yapped about the absolute state of everything. And with that, if you enjoyed, maybe consider donating to the Patreon. I have a Patreon account. You won't get anything from it, but hey, it's there. You get nothing, but my pockets get bigger. Maybe I'll put the money towards college or something. I don't know. And also maybe subscribe if you want. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, week, month, and year, and I will see you in whatever I make next. Goodbye, everyone.